I find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey YB, this is Markel Logan. I just want to reach out to you and say thank you so much for all you have done for the community, for the shows. Grateful that you're coming back full attack, and everybody watch out for YB.
YB, I just
Advised. And this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey YB, this is Markel Logan. I just want to reach out to you and say thank you so much for all you have done for the community, for the shows. Grateful that you're coming back full attack, and everybody watch out for YB.
YB, I just want to take the time out to let you know how good of a friend you are. Such an inspiration to us in our community, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing such a great job.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Ike from G Status ATL Hustle. I just want to take a minute and shine a light on my boy YB. Truly the gift that keeps on giving. Always pleasant to me during my time in reality. Truly the LeBron James of mass media. The reporting and reviewing is always above the tier. Always intellectual, always fair, balanced, and most of all, funny as hell. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for reading me when I need to be read. But most of all, reading others when they had it wrong about your boy. We truly don't deserve you. I wish you the best in all you continue to do.
See. Hello, everybody. I apologize if you can hear me. Fucked up connection. Excuse me while I try to fix this really quickly. But please like, comment, subscribe, and share. You know what I'm saying? And this is the Yasss Gawd Roundtable, Season 3, Episode 7. And girl, I don't know if it's because of this storm down here, but bitch, we got to get this shit together. No man, Pam. Fuck that intro. Ain't anybody got time for that. Because I don't know what is going on with that. No. I may end up restarting this whole motherfucking live, but bitch. Start my camera, bitch. Okay, y'all can see me? Good, because this camera's acting real shitty. Let me welcome my panel. Cats Meow, co-host Hello Gawd. Tremel, co-host.
Hey, everybody!
Conscious TV, co-host Hello Gawd. My camera keeps fucking up.
What's up?
Hello. Now I'm getting pissed.
Woosah, girl. It has been a day.
Yeah, and this day needs to hurry up and finish being that day.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you. And while we're waiting, let's just talk about how every week Conscious gives us a new look with the hair.
Hello, guys.
Every week slays us with the hair.
Not the replay back.
What the
That's
fuck?
Oh.
Is someone playing me in the background?
Here we go again, Mariah.
Yeah, like I'm gonna have to go in and come out, y'all, because y'all like delayed in the stream.
It's me. It's not you. It's me.
It's me because I can't hear you through my computer for some reason. Now, all of a sudden, I'm gonna go out and come back in.
Okay. Oof, this is working my nerves.
Fun time for StreamYard.
I think it's the StreamYard. That's what I think it is. Because the last 2 weeks, my shit was janky.
It has to be, and it's working my everlasting fucking nerves. Can y'all hear me?
That's how I felt the last 2 weeks. I was just like, You even called it when we were on the phone. Like, I was this close to getting the fuck off. Because
I'm over it right now. Can y'all hear me good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
See me good? Welcome to the Yes God Roundtable, Season 3, Episode 7. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and support the panel, honey. Hello, God.
Yes,
all
God.
right. As you can see, bitches, we are experiencing technical difficulties over here. StreamYard wants to force us to go spend our money with Zoom, and no one has time for that. So, StreamYard, get it together, you raggedy ass whores, okay? Because, bitch, we don't have time for this. Fucked up my intro, fucked up everything, conscious to go out and come back in. Jesus Christ, Lord. But before we get started, thank y'all for coming, by the way. Jace, the other Jace, Nate, thank y'all so much. Jeff, thank you, Christian Taylor. What's up, boo? Hello,
Hey,
everyone.
Christian. Hey, MVN. Hey, Sasso Jeff. Hey, Nate. I'm not going to even try to say your last name. Hey, Jace. Both Jaces.
Oh, shit. We just lost somebody else.
Girl, I don't know when them bombs going to be available. I have no clue.
I mean, they are, but I'm doing some change ups with certain stuff. So I'm trying to work on that probably tonight when I get done, and then I'll announce it probably tomorrow. But yes, if you would like to buy them, they are available, but the pricing is different now. So I just got to change the menu and the prices because the world went up, so I got to go up. You know what I mean? So, but yes, them things do look good. I ain't gonna lie. I'm actually using the lemongrass aloe one. And
Which one is this one?
That's probably the one with
I think the Simply,
the one with
I love the matcha green tea one. I think that's my favorite. Are you coming out with a pomegranate orange lip balm?
Yeah, I made that today. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and you know what's crazy? I'm using the pomegranate mango Ren Pure.
Oh, okay.
So it all just kind of like works.
Flows in together.
Yeah, it does.
That sounds like
I want the lip balm. You know, I need it.
We got big lips.
They last much longer than any other lip balm. I probably have the best one. I mean, not just because it's mine, it's because
Why you took so long to say that though?
I know what I put in it. You know what I mean? So
why you took so long to say that? You wasn't sure. You gotta be sure. What if I told you? You gotta believe in you. You gotta be there.
You gotta humble yourself.
Girl, fuck humble. Fuck humble, girl.
Now we got good product.
You good now, Conscious?
Yeah. I kind of just want to get started before this bitch be done.
Yeah. Let's get started.
Out this motherfucker again.
Yes. All right, y'all. So let's get on with the show, okay? So, first before we even get started with the docket, we just wanted to take some time out to remember 9/11.
Yeah.
You know, it's been 20 years. When I was watching the news the other day and I saw 20 years, I said, what the fuck? Like, bitch, I'm old. Like, I was in 7th grade. I remember going to Miss Fields' class. Shout out to Miss Fields if that bitch is still alive, child. The bitch only had 9 fingers, girl. So She used to. she was our geography teacher, and she was a bitch. But this ain't about her. We remember 9/11, not that 9-fingered whore. Okay. And I remember she's like, "Come, children." She had a Maya Angelou voice. She used to dress all earthy and shit. She had like the lesbian haircut, child. You know. Come, sit down, children. Today is a sad day. And she cut the TV on. Remember the ones they used to scoot out on the thing?
Oh, on a little stand.
Mm-hmm. Scooted out, child, like an old nurse's old carrying bag, child, and pushed it out and cut the TV on. I thought we were watching a movie. I thought it was an action film or something. And when they said, "Girl, this is live," and I saw that first plane hit, I said, "Girl, y'all gotta be lying to me. This can't be happening. Like this isn't a reality right now." And when I mean everyone in the class, the teacher, everyone was done. And I'm still thinking, like, girl, they punking us. Like, this is not real tea, girl. Mm-hmm. That second plane hit. And it just hit, girl. Like, it was just, everyone was through. They ended up releasing us from school early that day. People didn't know what was going on. I don't think it was until the end of the day we finally realized that it was a terrorist attack on our nation. Amen. We just thought someone lost control over the tea. Then it came to find out the girls held the girls up by box cutter. Girl, please. Where were the black people on that plane? But we're not going to joke about that. I'm just keeping it real. What really touched home for me as well was when you see the footage of people not wanting to burn to death in the World Trade Centers and on the planes, they're jumping off of the buildings. That sent the fuck out of me. But enough about me. What about y'all? What was y'all's experience during that time period?
I was in the 6th grade, Miss Bridges' English class, and we had the TVs that came from the ceiling. And we were just watching the morning news, and that shit came on, and I was like, well, I know. I didn't think it was a joke. I immediately started crying because I know special effects, and I know real shit. That building crashed, and my heart went out to just the whole situation. And of course, my mama picked me the fuck up because she was not having that. But 20 years later, I think what breaks my heart, first of all, like you, I couldn't believe that it was 20 years. And to hear some of those phone calls, some of those voicemails, I just broke because people are, "I love you so much. I don't think that I'm going to make it out alive." Like, these people know that they're about to die. And for what? You killed so many people for nothing. I mean, it meant something to them, but ultimately, you took innocent lives that didn't deserve that.
Oh, and there was a third plane too that tried to hit the
Pentagon, right?
Yeah.
And
that was their goal. They weren't even aiming for the Trade Center. They were trying to get the Pentagon and the White House. But girl, it just didn't. It wasn't.
That's sad.
Oh, my turn.
Yeah.
I was, I guess I was the oldest. I was in 9th grade. I was 14 years old. So for me, they didn't wheel in any TVs for us. I was in Mr. Townsend's class. He was a fun teacher with social studies. And he came in, he was crying. Like, he was crying. And he didn't even know how to really explain what was going on. So they did send us home early. They did say something on the PA system, but they sent us home early. And when I got home, I watched the TV, and I was just seeing like burning buildings and stuff. So I didn't quite understand because nobody really explained it to me when we were at school. They just said we had to go home. They said something really bad happened and we had to go home. So I didn't understand what really was going on, then watching the news and watching everything that was happening. Of course, it was just like, it was, I couldn't even wrap my mind around it. I couldn't even speak the words of like how I really felt about it because it was just like so sad. And mind you, just like a couple of weeks before, like I was an Aaliyah fan, so like that had just
yes.
This is like all these fucking planes, and I'm just like I was through, and so just dealing with all of that was just kind of like it's just like too much. So But yeah.
Conscious.
Like Tramiel, I was in 9th grade and I was in biology class. Actually, I, like him, had no understanding of what the hell had happened. I thought like a little commercial, not a commercial, but like a little private plane, like what the farmers be driving over the fields and shit to pesticide. I thought something like that happened because nobody was explaining anything to us either. Like, he just turned on the TV. There was kind of a distress, and we just saw some. I just didn't know what happened. I knew a plane hit a building. I didn't know what the building was, so I was just confused. And it wasn't until I got home and got to really get into the news that I understood what happened. But even at that age, like, I was so far removed from it emotionally as a young person. I was like, I was like obsessed with niggas at 14 and looking good and I was just not. It just did not hit me. It wasn't until years later when I matured that I realized how gruesome and demonic and really fucked up September 11th was. And to be honest, last year I re-traumatized myself all over again because I learned things about September 11th that I didn't learn. Like, I watched something called The Jumpers. I didn't realize who the hell the Jumpers were until, like, this was a reference for those who leaped out of the building because they were dying of asphyxiation and suffocation and they leaped to their deaths. They were jumping in clusters, even like jumping all together at once, like, and to literally see those people fall from the sky. I literally also, because I'm an extremist, I looked at some of the images of the bodies when they hit the ground, and to see that people hit the ground at 150 miles an hour. It took them 10 seconds to hit the pavement. They hit the pavement so hard that their bodies exploded like watermelons on the pavement. The bottom half of the towers, the glass was literally smeared with nothing but blood. Like, the people who were escorted out of the buildings remember sighting this wall that all the glass was just bloody and red. And they talked about like all of the limbs that were all over the New York streets. People were recording, there was footage, and you can really hear the body smacking, like smack, smack, smack. And there's one particular victim that really, like, literally, when I watched this video, I literally was traumatized for 2 weeks straight. Like, I was literally so fucked up and discombobulated. It's called The Waving Lady, and you can find it here on YouTube. There's a woman who, somehow this woman miraculously survived the initial impact of the plane that went into the second tower. There was a big-ass gap where the plane went in, exploded, ripped all of the interior out. This woman somehow managed to survive the initial blow, and then she got right to the edge where the hole was, and she just stood there and clung to a pole, and you can see her hair in the wind. She was like waving, and she just sat there for hours and hours and hours. There were literally, I was so fucked up over this lady because there were news helicopters surrounding the building, but they couldn't even get to her because they was afraid that debris from the roof, because at this point, everything was on fire. Everything was exploding. The helicopters couldn't get but so close to the building. And this lady literally stood in the gap until the towers collapsed. The towers collapsed on her, with her at that edge, and she went down with those towers. And I had never even seen that footage. I had never even seen any of this imagery. It was unbelievable. It's one of the most unbelievable tragedies in American history, maybe aside from slavery and its atrocities. September 11th is definitely right under slavery. I mean, I literally have never seen something so monstrous and gruesome, and I just can't believe that human beings were at the hands of this. Not a natural disaster, not anything, but that human beings put thousands of other people through something like this. And her husband later gave an interview, and I can't even imagine what it was like for him to see his wife there and to see that footage. I mean, he probably hasn't even looked at that footage, but he had to identify her. And yeah, it was just it was a lot. I don't even know if this country has even fully recovered from something like that. But God bless all of the lives that were lost in September 11th.
Yeah, for sure.
And all of the victims thereafter that are dealing with that
He
trauma.
probably should have saved that to the end.
Yeah. Well, we didn't know you was gonna say all of that, girl. Like, Jesus.
Sorry.
Yeah, it seems a little inappropriate to talk about Lil Nas X now. His outfit,
Which was still trash.
It's trash, yeah, definitely trash. One more announcement before we move on with the docket. I did want to just briefly give Carl, he's not with us tonight, but I wanted to give him his flowers, child. So I've been catching up on season 1 and the current season of Web Life Atlanta. And bitch, let me tell y'all this. Love everybody on the show, but if it wasn't for Carl, it'd be boring as a motherfucker. Like, yeah. Carl brings you work scenes, he brings you the hustle, and he brings you the entertainment, bitch. When I mean, no, in the shade, people were doing the most, child, but season 1, bitch, that was light shade, and I love Brandon Carson down, but Brandon Carson, you know you can be a reading kind of rainbow kind of girl. You know you gathers the kids up. So, bitch, I loved it. And that reunion was turned than a motherfucker. Okay, now we could have did better with the theme, girl. I don't know what y'all was. That was someone's living room, girl. I don't know what was going on there, but we could have definitely did some. All the gays in the world, like I'll talk about with everybody else, we could have bedazzled the shit out of that. You know what I'm saying? But girl, if it was not for Carl, also known as K Star Child, bitch, I couldn't have been able to watch it. The other people served, like I love me some Larry Wright. I didn't know who he was, but I live for him too. I wish Carl was here because I wanted to clown his ass about this current episode. How you gonna be eating donuts and drinking all of the orange juice, child, and not help these kids out here put these signs in the ground? But again, another scene. If it wasn't for him, I would have been like, wah wah wah. So shout out to Carl. You're doing your thing, and I'm really living living for the show. Okay,
for sure.
Now moving on. Also, rest in peace.
Hold on, wait. Shout out to this one too, because that performance you gave this past in the neon, girl, you did your thing, honey. You did your thing, honey. Okay. Shout out to you.
I'm supposed to be getting the other footage from Jamar. You know, Jamar. I call him Jamar 84 because you know.
I do too.
But he recorded the whole thing, and that's only a little snippet.
Okay.
I did a 15-minute set. It was actually there was some more in there. I gotta get it. But
yes.
I need to live in Atlanta. I miss everything.
Well, we have a segment on here for Black Gay Pride, so we were gonna touch on a little bit of that stuff too. So,
the actor.
Shit. Oh, I'm
brain fart.
Yeah. I already did a video on it on my own, but I did want to talk. Rest in peace to Michael K. Williams, real quick. But it gave a good topic, and I wanted to talk about mental health and drug abuse momentarily. I'm also talking about the whole reason why Jocelyn whore-ass Hernandez decided to get into it with poor little Lunel Honey about some friends that she lost in the comedy sector. The girls are out here putting fentanyl and all kinds of filth-ridden things inside of these drugs and taking advantage of already broken people. And I just wanted to say death to all of those motherfuckers because, see, back then we talked about crack and we talked about cocaine reigning its ugly head through our communities. But see, you lived long enough to be a crackhead. You lived long enough to be a cokehead. You know why? Because those drugs were pure. They weren't stepped on with all of this disease and evil, right? Everyone, because there's no more chemists anymore. When they made the glass, what do they call that? Meth and shit. They actually, that's how they understood how to get their money. You got to spend more. You know what I'm saying? To make more sometimes. And those OGs, as I would call them, they had respect for the game. Not saying I condone drug dealing, but if you're gonna do some shit, do it the right way. Amen. Don't be out here like the lazy niggas now. And that's why back then the OGs, I know them everywhere. Back then the OGs used to go to school, learn something. Science and math are your best friend if you want to be a fucking drug dealer, bitch. You need math to know your money. You need math to know the measurements. How much baking soda equals whatever. I don't know the recipe. Hello, God. But I'm just saying, though, you need to learn these things. Nowadays, you have back alley ass niggas sitting around here wanting to make a cute coin, and then they're killing the children on their first use. And I heard someone say, oh, you got to test your drugs before you use them. A crackhead ain't trying to test shit because they've been smoking crack all their life. They're not out here like the DEA putting solutions inside of powders and doing this little thing right here to see what color it's going to turn to see its purity. We're talking about people who have a problem, people who are broken. They don't give a fuck about testing shit. So that's my spiel, child. Anybody else got something to say?
I think that it also means
On what? You went in 6 different directions. I just need to know what you want me to comment on exactly.
Just your thoughts on drug abuse and mental health.
I think mental health is very important, and I think that it needs to stop being a stigma for Black people, and we just need to approach it however you want to approach it. But bitch, y'all need to have a long conversation. You ain't your mental health. You need to have a long conversation, because no ma'am, we need to get that under wraps. And these people ain't just crazy. I mean, not people who do drugs. So I'm just saying, these people out here, regular people, we're not crazy. We just got issues that we need to sort the fuck out. And honestly, mental health does not just look like a disability like bipolar or depression or anything. Sometimes people just need to clear out all the pollution inside of here. Yeah. If you never get it out, it's stuck up here, and you just kind of like wading through all of that to try to find a clear thought when you can just release all of that. And sometimes all you need is a good release. A good little 6-week session with a therapist, and you good to go. But really get in touch with your mental health, because it could be the death of you, literally. Some people have so much pollution in their minds they can't even see the sunlight, and they just want out.
And I don't think it's going Michael K. Williams and just knowing he's been around in the industry forever and has played in everything damn near. You can kind of get lost in those characters, and since he already had a battle with drug addiction in his past, doing certain roles, I guess, could kind of like reawaken that for you as well. So I think for like artists and actors and whatever the fuck, it can be tempting, because you're in those spaces, girl, especially in music. You hear a lot about the girls smoking and snorting and the pipe girl and doing all kinds of extra.com. And if you're a person that has overcome that battle, because addiction is, people think, when you stop using, that addiction is over with. No, you're an addict for the rest of your life, because it's so tempting. You can resort back to the old ways. You know what I mean? So again, broken people. And I just feel bad, It's sad. I work in the field, and to see the kids that I deal with, to see the adults that I used to work with, it's just, and then to know that, to look at my mother go through what she went through. Well, I didn't see her go through shit because she wasn't there, but to know that you would give up your children for drugs, you know what I mean? And then you become codependent thinking you need a nigga too, especially for women. You know what I mean? It's just it can lead you down the loneliest, darkest path, child, if you allow it to.
Yeah, it will. And then I think just getting a better handle on your mental health helps you function better. Like, it helps you communicate better and understand things better. And it's like, it's just a lot of miscommunication and misunderstanding going on when it could all be so simple, but we would rather make it hard.
Knowing yourself, they say, is half the battle, but I believe that's the full battle.
Yeah.
You have to be really like standing in who the fuck you are. You can be a crackhead and know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because I know some solid ass crackheads, you know what I mean? The girls, some of the girls are in web series, and they're functioning. You know what I mean? Like they're. And all jokes aside, though, real shit though. Like they know who they are, they know their limit, they know what they can handle, they know the ins and outs, but still broken. So knowing yourself doesn't mean that you're this perfect ass bitch or you got it all figured out. You can still know yourself and still go through some things. You know what I'm saying? I think those are people who go through most storms, people who know themselves.
Knowing yourself is one thing, but conquering yourself is a totally different thing. Like I still have minor battles with that. Like I was at the gym and I was just like, you know what? I'm only doing 50 on each machine. And when I went to get up, my other self was like, sit the fuck back down. You're not going to cheat yourself just because you don't feel like doing it. And you have to, you know, it's that constant battle of you against you. Who's going to win?
I think that I get really frustrated with conversations around drug addiction because the conversations are always aimed at the addict and not really aimed at the conditions like capitalism and white supremacy and this materiality and carnality that's literally consuming so much space in people's lives that you feel you need. I mean, all human beings require the pendulum to swing to the left as it does to the right. But when you're out of balance because you're working 40 hours plus a week to bring the bacon home to daddy and then still gotta also be emotionally and mentally available to your spouse, to your family, to your children, to your family. You have other obligations and you're always being pulled on. Of course, people need an extreme outlet like a drug or a substance to recalibrate them. And this can become very dangerous. And so when I think about the opioid epidemic and I look at the crack epidemic and I look at the Molly culture and the pill popping culture, what I'm also considering when I think about addiction is not just the conditions that capitalism forced people into that contribute to poor mental health, but I'm also realizing that under capitalism, we live in despite living in a very religious country, we still live in a practically non-spiritual society. And so drug addiction also is a way of people on some psychic or intuitive level knowing that they are more than just a body. And drugs are a gateway into some other experience of consciousness, some other experience of higher awareness, some other dimensional plane. And people wouldn't even need those drugs if we actually facilitated environments that nurture genuine spirituality where people can tap into these states of awareness without having to do dangerous off the market back alley laboratory manufactured things. Like there's also a lot of drugs, organic drugs that have been utilized to recalibrate the brain, like marijuana, like ayahuasca. These are things that mystics and prophets and witches and gurus have utilized in order to give people this other experience of self. And so between capitalism and between a lack of spirituality, the American people are definitely in a world of trouble. And I feel more inclined to challenge the American system than I do the actual because I feel like addicts are victims of capitalism. They're victims of a lack of spiritual cultivation. And so I would rather correct the conditions that make people healthier so they don't have to do the things that they do versus tell people, well, you got to be a part of this oppressive system that pretty much looks at you as a product on a shelf and a damn robot. And you also can't utilize that thing you've been utilizing to navigate that system either, because that probably contributes to you just jumping off a fucking bridge. So society needs to be challenged. Governments need to be challenged. Capitalism needs to be challenged. Like it's really time to put a bow and arrow into all of that shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Real quick, I'm sorry, Tramiel. Just real quick, I apologize. I also want to say this to your point, Conscious, real quick. Turning it away from the drug user, and if we go back to history, like we're always here on the channel speaking about how the CIA and these white organizations that I don't know how came into existence and actualized their own power, they introduced drugs into the black homes, and with the whole reason for the drug induction was to kill off the black people. That didn't work because they didn't count on the fact that it would have a counter effect to them. Now, and ever since white people started suffering, and then pharmaceutical companies also, like capitalism, that's who made a lot of these people addicted to pain medications and things of that nature. And it's just sad. But go ahead, Tramel.
All I was gonna say is that addiction can go so many different ways. It doesn't necessarily have to be drugs.
Yeah.
We can all be addicted to something. You can be addicted to sex. You can be addicted to just being around someone. It could be just like the subtlest thing. So I think mental health definitely plays the biggest part in why you get addicted to things, not just drugs. What are you lacking in your own private sector of life that you cannot get any peace from, that you have to use substances or you have to use physical actions? Like, say, some people are addicted to fighting. Like, you don't even, like, some people are addicted to pain. And some of it has nothing to do with drugs. So it's just mental health it can come in so many different forms. And I think that people focus mostly on drugs because it's the most prevalent, but it's like mental health is the root of everything. And wherever it came from, whether it came from them dropping the drugs in black communities or whatever the case may be, it's still just something with mental health that everybody has to deal with. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're broken, it makes it easier to look to a drug.
Right.
And then when you realize that that drug helps you get this moment, because that's all it is a moment of euphoria, and what you would consider normalizing your situation real quick, then you become the addict because you continue to chase that moment. Because you don't want to relive or think about the traumas that you've had to deal with. And that's why I believe therapy is so important. But yeah, shout out to everybody going through some shit. You're not alone. You're not the only one. What kills me about moments in life and people is that we think that this is a new experience. No one else has gone through what we're going through. No, bitch. The game of life is always the same for everyone, every generation, every timeline. The players are just different.
Yeah.
So you have to look back and know that, bitch, you're not alone. Don't be huddled up in the darkness. I understand we learn most in the darkness, but don't live there too long. Amen. But God bless y'all, child. Okay.
I just want to add like another point to that. I think that's why it's also, as Soso just said, important to normalize therapy, but I think it's also important to normalize confession about what one deals with, because when we actually see people having courage to admit that they struggle with mental health. I know Big Sean speaks a lot about the rapper Big Sean speaks a lot about mental health. I know there's another guy, he's one of my favorite rappers, I forgot his name. He's really big on mental health.
How's he your favorite rapper? You forgot his name.
Because he's like, I ain't listened to my favorite rap in like 7 years, but he's still my favorite. What's his name? Oh, it's some Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi talks about.
I love Kid Cudi.
He's been through a lot. He speaks very openly about therapy. Charlamagne the God speaks very openly about therapy, the necessity of therapy. So I think actually seeing people say it, express it, and say, yes, I myself go through bouts of depression. Sometimes I wake up and don't want to be awake. Sometimes I don't want to live. Sometimes I'm not enjoying being a human being. I'm not enjoying this earth experiment. So I think that normalizing therapy will probably follow normalizing honesty about what we all face, because as you guys have all said, like, no human being is absolved from a perfect life. I mean, everybody from Beyonce to Janet Jackson to the best of them. Hell, Mariah Carey, YB's icon, honey. We remember the infamous TRL handing out ice cream and lollipops and shit in her goddamn skirt dress. So it goes down, baby. You know,
It was not a skirt,
goes
just
down.
it was a big t-shirt, and she just took it off and revealed a skimpy outfit. That was all.
A skimpier outfit. Okay.
She took some time to rest, and now she is forever the queen. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I just feel like she was a little drunk. That's all.
She was
Yeah,
definitely.
but it was a champagne for sure.
Mama had her moments, but when you're the greatest of all time, I mean, you're definitely gonna go through the shit stains of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shout out to Mariah
In her conservatorship. Look at all the things that she endured.
Oh, congratulations to her. She got engaged today.
And she might be free. She might be a free slave soon. So shout out to Brittany.
Got engaged to her 5-year boyfriend.
Okay, yes.
And the people are like up in arms, like, he's just out for your money because you got it back. It's like, oh,
girl, I'm with them. I feel like that's an old nasty piece of decoy. I feel like that's an arranged marriage. I feel like ain't no way in hell them people had all that control.
She met him on her video.
They gonna let her marry just some man who don't know the script. Of course, Brittany man know the script. He her handler, but because he fucking her, giving her that good Caucasian dick, she ain't gonna understand that she be in Kevin Featherline. So I think he's a hired husband. I think that's an arranged marriage, but he cute. Brittany ain't gonna catch it. But as long as he willing to treat her right, even if he is there getting paid to treat her right, have at it, Brittany. Have your man and your baby and your
Yeah, do your thing, girl. Just lock your purse up when you praise dance for the Instagram girls.
The only thing I'm gonna say really about Brittany is love her down. I have supported her, did a whole video dedicated to her freedoms and stuff. But at this point, girl, if it ain't about the music, stay locked up in somebody's closet like Harry Potter, girl. Because that's what I want from you. Let me say this real quick. And when we talk about broken people, girl, you allow these things to happen to you. See them child stars, we be so, but when you really think about it, these girls are a mess. You allowed these people to come for you. You could have been one of the greatest entertainers to grace our musical, era. Huh?
Who came for her?
What?
Who came for her? Who came for her? You say people came for her. Who came for her?
Yeah, they came for her. They got her and they locked her in a closet for all.
Yeah, but they did that by force. She ain't give herself a will.
She allowed it to happen by going crazy, going nuts, shaving her hair, doing all this public displays of fuckery.
So everybody up here has handled mental health perfectly.
Shit.
No.
Has everybody up here handled mental health perfectly? She just had to.
She's a public figure. You got to know how to handle yourself, baby, because they will call you all kinds of nuts. They're going to take your children. They're going to take your kids.
Okay, but how old was Brittany when this even happened? Was she old enough?
That's the problem with the system. We sensationalize these children actors and singers, and then we wonder why they're all fucked up in their adulthood.
It happened 10 years ago, so I believe she was 27, 28.
But see, all the build-up, that shit from childhood comes into play when they're at 27 years old. All of that, you never got to be a kid. You never got to be normal. You got all these fucking people following you.
Oh, she got to be a kid.
So that sounds like she's a victim. It's not her fault.
She's a victim of her own self in a lot of ways. I'm not going to put the whole blame on her, but it's just like, how the system is. We're not stuck in the 1900s, honey. I'm a product of the foster care system. Rule number 1, if you do anything that looks weird, you're going to have a DCF worker knock on your motherfucking door. Period. When that happens, that's up to you to make the choice to turn it all around. You did. And then your daddy comes in, ground your ass up like a prisoner, and now you're like,
But one of the things about Brittany's situation is that she didn't even really have there wasn't even like a blueprint for her to keep in mind. Like, really, we all learned from Britney Spears that this can happen to you at that level. So she was literally living her experience. And it's because of what you just said. These people been in the industry their whole life. Their parents have groomed them, kept them in the industry, kept them in talent, kept them in all of that. So you don't even get to learn about your ratio to the world in any realistic way. Actually, all of that is exactly why you're bound to humiliate yourself and make all of the wrong decisions when you technically should be making all of the right ones, because you don't have access to any of that. I really feel bad for her, because when I think about all the bitches that I threw over balconies, when I think about all the niggas I punched in the face, when I think about the last nigga that I had to put in the back of an ambulance, I'm like, I'm glad that I'm not Britney Spears and there's not a bunch of fucking paparazzi to fucking be filming me and catching me in my most human, non-spiritual ass, like, when I'm like wilding the fuck out, because that would be a fucking train wreck. And I don't think that even if somebody was going to call themselves being concerned for her, that the remedy should have been remove her rights. We're talking about they removed this woman's rights to the point that they removed her reproductive rights. She didn't even have the right to have any more children. For the longest, she didn't even have a right to choose or to even openly date. She has zero access to her money. The girl couldn't even make a doctor's appointment for her goddamn self. This is the level of conservatorship that took place.
Although, yes, the system is fucked up and the way that we treat people and all that kind of, but going back to, girl, you should have known. Crazy, all of that other shit is just building a case on you, knowing that the system will fuck you the way that it's fucked her. You got to be mindful how you move in these streets, and you're a public figure, which puts you even more on 10. If this is if people's children and their rights are being snatched away from regular, ordinary people, you are a high-profile celebrity with a lot of eyes on you, and people want to come for you by any means necessary. So you have to make sure that your shit is on point.
Well,
that may be true. But like Conscious was saying, she was the prototype for this type of pandemonium. So she had nobody to, tell her this is going to happen if you keep going in this direction. A. And B, being an artist, yes, it's a dream, but it's also a job. And much like all of us on this screen, we've all worked before. So we know that there's a time to work and there's a time to be the fuck off. It's unfair to ask these celebrities to be on the clock 24/7. Just because they're famous. That's not fair. They should have an opportunity to just be themselves. People break down all the time. Should my right be taken? I've had breakdowns too.
Mm-hmm. But you're not a celebrity.
Like her breakdown.
She was off. So she wasn't a celebrity at that moment either. She was just Britney.
But she's a human being. Like,
she was just Britney from
you have to know. And answering a question real quick, Shed Pearl, this hasn't happened to anyone on her level. But because I lived a life of foster care, I've seen this happen to many parents. Those rich bitches, too, who end up losing their kids to the system. There's a lot of legal entanglements that happen around these regular, ordinary people that you don't hear about. So if it's happening to normal people, you better believe it can happen to a bitch like Britney. See, she's the first one it happened to, but see, the other people that would never let you rear their ugly heads, like Michael Jackson, someone mentioned earlier, he had so much money, girl, no one legally is going to try to touch him on that level. You feel what I mean? And once he did that shit with the baby, we didn't see no real crazy shit with his kids after that. He learned his lesson.
He waved it over a balcony. How much crazier can you get?
But he didn't continue on with foolery. Once that happened and people said what they said, you didn't see him do no crazy stuff with his kids anymore after that.
I think it's also like a. I think.
But you know what?
I think that we
having a great team is important too.
Yeah.
I think that we have a false equivalency here a little bit. We all know that children can be driven into the foster care system, but we're talking about someone themselves pretty much be put in a padded wall. We probably we don't even know anybody who has been removed from their actual life. We see children removed all the time. Britney Spears was the person removed in this damn sense. And I also think that this is the unique thing that makes us human, that it doesn't matter how much you know. You can know all you need to know. That does not make you any less susceptible to human error, to human fault, and to just simply being fucking human. Lots of people do things that they know is terrible for them, and they know better. Lots of people fall victim to their emotions and allow their emotions to get the best of them, and that contributes to a fight that leads to charges. People commit crimes of passion. Do people want to throw away their fucking life? No, but there's something in us that, despite all that we know, that sometimes is going to transcend knowledge and transcend what's in our best interest, especially when shit is bottled up and caged up and a lot is happening all at once. And then we're talking about the fucking unnatural environment that celebrities live in. These people are exploited, preyed upon, have zero fucking privacy, and people really feel entitled to these individuals. And so could you imagine alone just dealing with your life being
I think it was about her having a good team, though. I think she had people around her. Nobody around her was like, bitch, you need some fucking help, girl. Don't see a therapist.
This is the life you asked for. You come into the spotlight.
What is it? She's a child. When you're a child, that your parents made the decision for you, sweetheart.
Honey, like these whores like Lindsay Lohan's parents, the fucking Olsen twins, the Hilton sisters. Yeah. These parents are pushing their kids like those dance mom bitches to do this. And then when your child has a breakdown or loses their custody of their own kids, it's like you said about having a team. Stop having yes bitches around you, unless it's me. Hello, God. Yes, bitch. And get you some niggas and some bitches around you that's going to tell you when it's real shit. Because if your parent sees you going through some shit and takes advantage of that and still pushes you anyway, that should be a sign right there, girl. It's time to go. I got to fire you as my manager, bitch. Or being around you.
And thank you.
Because you don't mean me no good. If I see my daughter on TMZ, then a snap picture snorting cocaine at the local bistro, and I'm not pulling my daughter into my car, girl, what the fuck is wrong with you? If you're not that kind of parent, then fuck y'all. But once you get to a certain age and you know the power of celebrity, you're asking for eyes to be proud. You're asking for the gossip channels to want all of your tea. People are going to be secretly praying for your tear down, honey. You know what I mean? So you got to make sure your ship is stable before you set sail. Because you asked for this shit. You want this shit. You don't want to work at McDonald's, girl. You don't want to be a manager at CVS, girl.
She can't, because people who have been childhood stars have no employable skills. All they know how to do is entertain.
So that's what I'm saying. Girl, you got to make sure your shit's on point. Hello, God.
But everybody needs
she wasn't even on the docket, so we're just going to move on from her. Shout out to Brittany. Hope you're right, girl. Hopefully they don't do it again. Hello, God. Moving on to mandated vaccinations. I thought was funny. Fucking Biden's old song. I want to play it though. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
I was gonna say, don't you have a clip? Because I just feel in my spirit you got a clip for this.
I won't be showing it because I didn't put it in. Okay. But we can listen to it because I find it to be fucking hilarious.
I'm keeping down my body count. Hey, I don't know the rest of the words.
I'm announcing the Department of Labor is developing an emergency rule to require all employers with 100 or more employees that together employ over 80 million workers to ensure their workforces are fully vaccinated or show a negative test at least once a week. Some of the biggest companies are already requiring this. United Airlines, Disney, Tyson's Food, and even Fox News.
Oh, of course.
We're going to protect vaccinated workers from unvaccinated coworkers. So tonight, I'm announcing that the Department of Labor is developing an emergency rule to require all employers with 100 or more employees that together employ over 80 million workers to ensure their workforces are fully vaccinated or show a negative test at least once a week. Some of the biggest companies are already requiring this. United Airlines.
Yeah, it's panicking.
Okay, so I didn't see it. This wasn't really the clip I wanted, but I saw another clip. where he talked about the vaccinated need to be protected from the unvaccinated.
That don't make sense.
And it made no sense to me. And I was thinking to myself, like, you guys are pushing this fucking vaccination. And I know that I said I needed a code word for that, but I already said it, whatever. That's the dumbest logic ever. So I thought the vaccine was supposed to protect us, period. I'm Periana, right?
Yeah.
That's so we gotta be the vaccinated have to be protected from the unvaccinated. That makes no fucking sense. So if you were really trying to force people to take this thing with this type of dumbass logic, no wonder you're going to get a lot of pushback. But one thing I wanted to bring up too is if we notice in any human history, whenever you try to have a governing body tell you what to do, that's when you will see the greatest opposition.
Yeah.
People don't like being told what to do, how to live their life. Even last year when they kept bringing up martial law, what did people say? Girl, hell no. We don't desire that. And it goes to the fact that, bitch, this country really isn't free. Because as soon as some shit pops off, they can tell you what to do. And I think that it's horrible that you're going to force people to do something with their bodies. But are we really surprised when you're trying to tell women what to do with their bodies? You know what I mean? So now they're trying to tell everybody what to do. So military, any federal workers, bitch, you have no choice but to take this, or your job is going to be threatened. Mm-hmm. Anybody who has more than 100 employees has to do this.
Yeah.
Or show negative COVID tests. So now I got to get my nose swiped every week. Twice a week.
Every week.
I gotta have that thing prodding in my nose. I know this looks different, but no, in my nose. You know what I'm saying? Every week. That shit hurts, bitch.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've never got it.
Thoughts, everyone?
Well, I've actually already started the process of getting vaccinated.
Okay, so that's my question. Have y'all been vaccinated? And will
fuck no, and not gonna get vaccinated.
I am fully vaccinated.
Yeah, I got vaccinated for my parents. It wasn't for work or anything. Both of my parents are vaccinated, and they would not leave me alone about it. So I went and got vaccinated. But I waited until something was FDA approved. So of course I have the Pfizer.
Yeah, I did it because, for one, it was just one of those things where you just like people are hounding you about it, and my mom had did it, and she was just like, do it. And I have family members who have like diabetes and stuff like that, so I want to make sure that I don't bring undo anything around anybody, and I don't want to catch it. I think I had it back before it was what it was.
Me too. I think I caught it back in like January, February, right before it became a known thing.
January 2020, like New Year's, I was sick like a dog.
When I came back from LA, I was sick as a dog for 2 weeks, and I didn't know what it was. It wasn't a cold, it wasn't a flu. I was just sick as fuck.
At one point, I was like literally coughing up mucus blood. It was like a mess. So sweating, headaches, threw up.
Yeah.
Couldn't breathe sometimes. It was just like, I didn't know what it was. But then, March, they said, and I haven't caught it since. So I don't want to be one of those people.
Yeah.
I have not been. My job has been in conversations about making it mandatory. They even did offer free vaccinations, but I've had several people, and I know they had pre-existing conditions, but they lost their lives not long after receiving, what the government has planned for them. So I don't know. I get tested regularly. I have yet to have it, thank God. Maybe in the words of Donald Trump, I'm immune, but I'm also a recluse. So I think that works in my favor because, girl, you will not catch me out around a bunch of motherfuckers like y'all saw my video at Walmart, girl. Let me get the fuck out of here. Fuck this shit. I don't have time for that. I don't do crowds. I don't do people like that, especially when bitches hacking and coughing around everywhere. But I just don't want to be told what to do. And Jeff, I get where you're coming from, but when we have these new strains coming around, you're only building a vaccine based on the information you had at that time of its creation. So maybe when we experience these different variations that are coming our way, they'll start to create new vaccinations that will be stronger. But until that happens, I don't want no parts of it, because you're still in your testing, and FDA approved or not, girl, I need more. Hashtag I need more. Conscious?
Oh my God, there's a world of things to freaking say. For one, I think I'm going to pull one out of your book about celebrities ask for this. I'm not sure who the fuck to feel sorry for in this case, the government or the American people, because the American people wants a government. You have one. There's a reason why I don't participate in politics. It's a reason why I don't vote. It's a reason why I don't do any of that. And it's because I don't want a government. So I let those who want a government participate in governmental things. Secondly, I think that the jab situation is very fascinating to me. First, it started off as get the jab and you can be free, you can be out, don't wear your mask, blah, blah, blah. Then it turned in, well, if you got the jab, still wear your mask because of blah, 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 blah. Then it turned into, well, if you got the jab and got vaccinated, wear your mask, still social distance, blah, 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 blah. And then it turned into, we're seeing spikes in COVID cases with those who have been double vaccinated. So it seems to me that the vaccine is nothing more than a placebo effect. Right now, my friend, his mother's ex-boyfriend is fighting for his life. Him and his wife were double vaccinated. She died from COVID complications, from non-19 complications. And now he's in the hospital fighting for his life as a double vaccinated person from non-19 complications. And so this fear mongering around get the vax, I really don't know what people don't understand about the fact that literally your news, your politicians, your world scientists, your leading scientists are literally telling you that vaccination does not give you immunity. They said they changed it from immunity to you will have light symptoms. You will have survivable symptoms if you get the jab. Now you got people literally double vaccinated and being just as hospitalized and all out dying from the same things that non-vaccinated people are dying from as it relates to non-19. So my thing is, look, make an informed decision. I'm not putting shit in my fucking body. I don't give a fuck whether grandma won't sit, mama won't sit, because most of my family is vaxxed too, and I don't give a damn if 90% of the fucking country walks into the 7-Eleven to get vaccinated. My black ass will not, in fact, be getting vaccinated at all. Also, there's like really big issues around the fact that what's in these so-called vaccinations interact specifically with each individual's genotype. That means that despite things going well for a grandma who got double vaccinated, an uncle who got double vaccinated, that my black ass cannot look at them and them having no injury, them having no severe reaction, or them not being fatally killed as a reference for the fact that I'm going to be okay. Because I'm going to have a totally different experience based upon my genotype than my grandma has, than my uncle has. And so I think this is one of those situations that I think everybody needs to fall back off of. I don't think anybody should be rallying for vax or non-vax. I think we should be rallying for people to do their own research, be very discerning and prayerful, and just make a decision for yourself that really feels whole and a decision that you can live with in either direction. So I'll shut the hell up.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Man.
Because what kills me, no pun intended, but what gets me is that people keep saying that, oh, it's the pre-existing condition, but some people have been living with these pre-existing conditions their whole lives. What if for some reason the vax is awakening those pre-existing conditions to do them more harm versus if they weren't vaxxed? You know, because in 3 of the situations that are close to me, that's what it was, in my opinion. These people were okay with whatever their ailment was, but as soon as like 3 or 4 days later or a week or 2 later after receiving the vaccination, the girls were, you know, man down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's a correlation there. So I don't want to blame it on that. You know what I mean? But again, like Conscious said, make informed decisions.
Excuse me, MVN. I don't specialize in narrative. I talk what I know. Okay, you can research severe reactions and fatalities due to the Johnson & Johnson and due to the Pfizer, okay, vaccine yourself, okay? Because when I was willing to put out that information from the CDC and willing to put out that information that was coming from credible, reputable news sites, okay? You know what YouTube did? YouTube removed all of my videos that spoke about the negative aspects of the jab that the media overall is not covering. They sprinkle a little bit of here and there, like, oh, somebody got paralyzed and lost their ability to fuck here, and somebody fucking turned into a caterpillar over here, and somebody, you know, just dropped dead over here. And they're not really speaking about how common that is and how often that's happening and how many people, including doctors, neurosurgeons, nurses, literally professional, healthy people who are dropping dead 15 minutes. There was a man who literally dropped dead 15 minutes after getting the jab, waiting on his lift, fainted on the sidewalk outside of the hospital, and died. There's a neurosurgeon in Miami who got vaccinated in the hospital that he works at. He was found dead 7 days later. A whole nurse who was found 2 days later, dead, in her home, by her family, after getting vaccinated. Perfectly healthy people, professional working people, young people. So I stand by everything that I said. I don't know where the hell MVN gets your information from. I really don't give a damn. I'm standing by what I'm saying. Do your own due diligence. Do not look to the mainstream media as your only source of information, because if you allow mainstream media to inform you, your ass is going to be dropping dead in the back of the Uber on your way home from what you think is immunity, okay? So do yourself a fucking service, please. This is the one life you have, okay? If you want to know, okay, how the jab can train like upside down, type in Nicole Tyler, who is a notable content creator in the beef sector, who did not want to get the jab, but her job, her nursing job, mandated she get the jab, and guess what? Her life has been flipped upside down ever since. The woman started suffering from severe anxiety, delusions, spinal injury, has panic attacks multiple times a day, hasn't even been able to return back to work as a result of injecting the shit into their body. So if there are people here who have took the jab and received it, God bless you. To those who have not and may be considering it, all I'm saying is do your research. Don't let none of these folk pressure you. Don't let none of these motherfuckers in the comment section pressure you. Don't let nobody in your family pressure you. You make a decision for yourself, because when that shit flips your ass, these people in that comment section ain't gonna be there to take care of your ass. That same family, that social distancing, trying to stay away from the non-vaccinated, ain't gonna be there to cuddle your ass when that shit flips you on your left side. So please do your due diligence.
And I think this is just a conversation. And I understand when we're talking about this, coupled with politics, coupled with a bunch of things, it can get very high-spirited. And that's what I love about the roundtables. We can all have a meeting of the minds, and those minds don't always have to touch and agree. Amen. But I think the overall message here is do your own research. To each his own. This is going to have a different effect on people because, like you even said, MVN, it's difficult to have 100% safe vaccines for over 8 billion people on the planet. We're all going to have that, but that's what we're talking about is the difference that it will have with those 8 billion different people. The majority might be okay, but the minority portion is just as important as the majority. And I think that's what we need to talk about. Like, we're such in a rush to save people that we're willing to sacrifice a few to get there. And I think that's where we're talking about when it comes to science. You can't tell me in a year's time when we're still trying to fight off something as basic as diabetes, girl. In my opinion, I think it's a very basic thing that should have been cured a long time ago. But because that coin, hello God. And if you don't think getting sick and all these different things don't help out these different organizations, you're sadly mistaken because it does. But again, this is just a conversation. There's no need for, heated situations. Amen. Now,
I will say this, and I stand by this. I stand by this wholeheartedly. I feel like the reason this vaccine came so early, before anything that has been out, we have cancer, we have HIV, we have diabetes, we have all of these things that need cures or vaccinations.
Amen.
The wrong people started dying. And I'll just sit that there. Who was starting to die off first? That they felt like, oh, we got to save them. Yeah, and I'll just sit that there.
That's true. And I want to say this as well. I don't want to base this off of movies or shows, but the consensus for a lot of things that I've seen also in the news, and when we look back in the day, there's a conversation of depopulation. There's a conversation that there's too many people on Earth right now to sustain us successfully for years to come. I don't wish death on no one, but for all we know, this could be considered one of those waves that, and this may be controversial for me to say, but it happened with the Black Death. It's happened numerous times in our history, but sometimes things will happen to show us. And again, I've had people touched by this, and I'm not speaking on a negative aspect on death and how people are dying, but I would like people to understand that there could be a spiritual mechanism to this as well.
Can I just add one more thing? Because so many things just piss me the fuck off about the whole situation. You got freaking cave-dwelling celebrities coming out in the bundles talking about how they take bird baths in place of entire showers. What I would like to see the government do is mandate all these white motherfuckers in the country to wash their assholes from the inside out, and maybe that could stop the contagion. Okay? How about y'all get on these very privileged ass people who think that it's okay to pooch around taking a bath out of a damn bird's nest while one of the goddamn cautions are to be washing your hands diligently, and you got white people out here not even washing their asses diligently. Okay, you want to pander to a damn community? Stop with back this jab up. Okay, how about get Christina Aguilera to sing Jab in a Bottle to the white Caucasian community and get their asses lined up for this shit. Like, I don't literally, this is madness, and it's medical tyranny. You don't get to tell me or mandate me to put an experimental juice that you guys expedited up to the point that you sped through the shit so fast that you couldn't even get it federally approved. People literally were willing to be white lab rats for the government because of the fear mongering. And to those who are talking about people are being conspiracy theories, Bitches, the confusion came from the top, not from the bottom. You had Fauci saying this. You had Trump knowing that COVID was here for months before he even made an announcement nationally and debuted COVID. You had literally so much conflicting information about what the ins and outs of the jab was, what the ins and outs of the virus was, and all this was coming from the top. The people at the top could not even agree. Scientists are literally disagreeing about the jab and about the COVID. So the American people have every fucking right to realize that these people don't know what they're talking about, which is going to reinforce my obedience and loyalty to myself and make sure that I educate myself from the inside out to the best of my ability, because there's so much information that's not cohesive, that's not coordinated, that's not complementing one another, and there's nothing to do with that but to sit back and to educate yourself and once again to make a discerning decision. This shit is a hot mess. This is a hot mess. This whole virus situation is a catastrophe. And I understand the arguments on both sides. I understand that people are afraid. People don't want to die. People are afraid of people who not being as cautious, don't want to wear a mask, don't want to get... I get it all. But baby, this is one of those situations where you're going to have to let go and put that good old pig's blood across your doorpost, and you're just going to have to do what's in the best interest for you, because like you said, OYB, see, this is where we get to really test our passion behind freedom. We all say freedom, freedom, freedom until somebody else's freedom possibly costs us something, but that's what the fuck freedom actually is. Every individual having the freedom to decide for themselves what relationship they want to non-Chuck-19 in this vaccine. That's scary and that's terrifying, but this is what individuality under liberty looks like.
Yeah. And to another point I want to make too, and we've talked about this before with the new data coming, not data, but the new, well, it is data coming out. Not just that though, but the many things that will be unearthed from these ice caps as climate change, comes through and makes things happen. So every time, because we see the 30 million-year-old viruses are going to be released, so we don't even have any cures for those because we've never seen them in our time. So every time something happens in the future, we're going to be getting stabbed up.
Baby,
no.
They expedited vaccines faster than they expedited those reparations that they promised to Black Americans. How long ago?
Yeah.
How long ago?
Yeah.
I can't even get started on America. I'm done.
Okay, so yeah, we had a lot of technical difficulties in the beginning that were a mess. Our time is limited, but we can get through some of these real quick. On a lighter note, well, it's not really light, it's whatever. Black Gay Pride. The question I have is, are they getting out of hand? More specifically, like Atlanta, Philly, New York, like LA, we're seeing the girls are always fighting, and it just kills me. And that's why I want Carl here too. But Tramel, you're here. You just performed at a gay pride event, right? We see that aspect, but walking through Pride, are you seeing what I'm talking about? Is that something that you see about Pride? Is there a lot of violence and stuff? Can you give us an insight into Atlanta's Pride situation?
What I will say is, I've been doing Prides for many, 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 many years. I'm not a young cookie. When I first started going out, it wasn't as violent there. I mean, of course, you had your spats here and there, and then you had your unorganized things. But I think as the years went on, it got a lot worse. There's something about this newer generation of young girls. They just don't know how to control themselves. They have a lot of baggage. From what I hear, honestly, it'd be a lot of like social media. I think when social media really started kicking up, because I was going out before, social media was a thing. So, these girls, they get to arguing online and then they meet up at these prides and then they jump each other. Like, that's what's really the problem now. Like, I think a lot of social media beef is what brings them to the same city for a pride, and then they'll fight, and then they'll, jump each other, hurt each other and shit like that. So I think that social media has played, like I said, a large part in what's been really happening and getting worse and worse, especially Bigo, from what I heard.
I think might be frozen.
My fucking screen just blacked out.
Oh no!
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you and see you. Still,
I don't know what the fuck this is. I can't even see myself.
StreamYard.
Okay, hold on. I did it. Okay, I'm here. We're good, right?
Yes.
Oh, I'm taking everything not to just end this fucking broadcast, and bitch, we'll be back another day, honey. But girl, we're gonna push through this.
Girl. Fire in, baby, for the end button.
Okay. And because I would love to see the lighter side of a black gay pride situation, but it seems like, and even the news blogs love y'all down, but it seems like that's the only focus.
Absolutely.
Even today I was going down a timeline on Instagram. I'm not going to name any names, but it's just the fights. I'm just like, can we see a pride event? Like back in the day, I've never, guilty as charged, I've never attended a pride event before. But I remember when I lived in Atlanta, they used to have these white balls, a 3-day event where one day was dedicated to this, then you'd have brunch, then the girls would go out. On Sunday would be the last day, and they would be the gentleman's ball or something they used to call it, where all the girls would come out dressed nice, very prestigious, very nice event. I would love to see those sides of us instead of just highlighting these ratchet ass bitches who, just like you said, just want to meet up to have a point to prove. Because it's a mess, girl. Like, people are being shot at. People are getting the shit stomped out of them. And that jumping culture, girl, if you don't know how to fight one-on-one, that's just some pussy-ass faggotry. That's just what that is.
I'm going
like,
to
no, girl.
Get up on my bitch and not get jumped. I'm anywhere that my bitch is, baby, it's a 2-for-1 special every time, bitch.
It's a one-on-one. I'm from the old school, one-on-one. Because if you do jump me and Sister Mary Clarence is within arm's reach, I'm killing everybody, bitch. That's just on Piriana. And guess what? Because the law is on my side, I'm not going to jail for your deaths, girl. So don't play. You don't know who you're playing with, first of all.
Right.
That y'all think that jumping shit's cute, but like I said, when Sister Mary Clarence get the gets your motherfucking ass, girl, I don't want to hear no hollering and screaming. You killed my cousin. You killed my best friend. Well, bitch, they shouldn't have been playing the jumping game.
As long as we got some licks in, bitch. As long as we got some licks in before you let have, honey. That's all that matters to me, baby.
What are those licks gonna matter when you've been gunned down?
Hello.
It being that I went down, I got gunned down swinging, bitch.
Girl, they're gonna be pushing y'all. They're gonna be pushing y'all in that
cardboard.
It's just gonna happen. I don't believe in the jumping game now. If there's a situation, like, about that life, girl, okay? So if there's a situation where I don't know what's the tea, I may end up jumping in with my friend. But if it's a pure one-on-one, let that go. May the best girl win. And if you just so happen to lose, girl, you just got people need to learn how to take an ass whooping. Girl, it is what it is, and some girls need to actually learn how to fight.
The blogs that you speak about, ain't nobody trying to be embarrassed out here. Then all the girls.
Well, they're already being embarrassed by wearing all these crazy ass outfits that don't add up to no kind of fashion sense. And then you just got beat out of your panties, girl. Some of these girls are getting beat out of their shoes. So you are already embarrassed. And this is not fighting. We've already established that.
If they had somebody helping them, they wouldn't be out of their shoes.
That's all we see is this shit right here, because you don't know how to fight. You don't know how to fight. All of this is nothing. Where's that motherfucking set at, bitch? Where's the real hitters? Some of y'all girls are light like paper, and that's why
they don't know how to fight. They don't know how to fight, because while your hands up here, you just gave me a clean shot to your face.
Yeah.
and I'm knocking your ass the fuck out.
And like I said, I grew up with the WWE girl. We will clothesline your ass and bring a chair on your ass. And then if I can get real nasty, I'm going to get Rafiki style on you, girl, and throw this ass in your face, bitch, and smother you with it. And have your ass choking on booty juice, bitch.
I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't got on no underwear and I'm sitting on my balls. Sorry.
What? And
okay.
Come on, Jazz and Masters, girl. Come on. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
But yeah, that's just my thoughts on pride. Like, it just kills me because when you see the white prides, they don't have those kinds of issues. The only thing they have to deal with is the opposition with their signs. You're going to hell. That's all they got to deal with. But for us, and then we don't really have a parade for us. I've never really seen a real parade.
That's what I will say. When I've seen we call it the white pride. It's actually the white pride, but it's the everybody pride, versus the black pride. Of course, I've experienced both. I think they canceled the everybody pride that's supposed to be in October, which is really, really nice. They have a parade. They organize everything from the black pride. They don't really put no money into. They can't get funding because they so ratchet. They be fighting so much. They've gotten like shut down from doing so many different things. They really only let them, have the park situation. Yeah, they couldn't do anything else. We used to have like events. They used to plan things, but like they fought so
cups.
We don't got made so many times. They're like, listen. So they stopped allowing us to like do things together. So all they do now is just like charge highest prices for these club events, and that's it. Then they call that pride.
That's
no parade, no nothing, no commitment. You just a bunch of sex parties and a bunch of expensive ass venues to go see the city girls. That's all it is.
Honey, when I tell you, I look forward to Black Pride because about a week later, after the girls done had an opportunity to edit their sex videos, bitch, to dirty Twitter I go, bitch. I literally, let me tell y'all what I saw. I was trying to find it for my homegirls in there, but I couldn't find it. There was a video I saw right after y'all had posted y'all performances on Dirty Twitter, and there was literally about 50, 60-ish men down to Piedmont Park underneath some kind of structure. And when I mean they were all naked and giving it to each other, bitch. Giving it to, and when I know that Atlanta has moments, I've never seen it on that scale in broad daylight before. And it's crazy to me. It's just like, girl, like there's more to. Ooh, girl, I thought I saw something. Girl, I thought I saw something. Girl, I was like, no, there, not today.
What is that?
Not today, honey. No, just someone pulling in some headlights. I was like, girl, what the fuck? But I would like to see more from us because, like you said, we're not going to get any funding. People don't want to put any money into something that is going to get shot the hell up, or their venues are going to get destroyed, and they know they're not going to get their money from these people, and the girls spending their rent money just to fly out to fight a bitch. If I'm spending my hard-earned money, you think I want to be bothered with peasantry and bullshit? Okay. No, ma'am. I want to get my money's worth. I want to have a good time. So I think if I was a billionaire gay, I would change the way Pride looks. I would be the Bill Gates of gay. Like, girl, let's go ahead and rent you out a nice mansion real quick over to Rick Ross mansion, honey. Only the best of the best will be invited, girl. Any ratchetry, clownery brought to the venue, you'll be shot on sight, hell of God, and be dragged in to be drowned into the pool, girl. And we'll make sure the alligators are ready for your ass, girl.
And that's what's going to have to happen, YB, is the queer community is going to have to put the pressure on the promoters, on the owners to control these spaces more, to set a standard, to set a bar, so that these things can be handled properly. One big reason, though, why all hell breaks loose in the Black queer spaces is literally for the very same reason that all hell breaks loose in the Black straight community, as it relates to Bike Week, as it relates to all the ratchet ass events that straight folk have where people get gunned down. It's because we're still talking about a very marginalized, oppressive group. And so you have Black groups, whether it be Black trans, Black men, Black queer men, Black cis hetero men, who are fighting for space. So what a lot of these communities are really suffering from is really a collective narcissism. There's a big issue of narcissism within the Black queer experience. And the fact that we are so defensive, the fact that we have an air of arrogance about ourselves that trigger up somebody else to slap the fuck out of us to give us a reality check is due to the development of that narcissism, which is why it's important for us to be talking about these issues and challenging the church, because the conditions that queer people have to be raised in, not getting the proper nurture, not getting the proper attention, not getting the proper love that they need, these are literally the cesspools for personality B types to develop in. This is literally like when real psychologists go to break down what are the commonalities behind narcissism. It is people who have been profoundly abandoned emotionally, who have abandonment issues. So you have to overcompensate for what the church didn't give to you. You have to overcompensate for what society did not give to you. So you have to be overinflated ego, because who else was there to tell you that you're somebody but yourself? So getting into the survivability mode and then going out into spaces where you don't know how to take other queer people because they're in survivability mode. They feel like there's only room for one of us.
Right.
There's all this head ramming going on. This is due to a lot of the neglect that so many people were raised up around. And because we all came from the era where there wasn't technology, that means that we also don't have a lot of experience with LGBT spaces outside of clubs, outside of bars, that we still are very new to developing intimate relationships to other same gender loving people. But you have inexperience coupled with defensiveness due to having to live in survival mode emotionally and mentally for so fucking long. So I feel bad for our community, because what we fucking need is healing before we can celebrate pride. We can't have no pride to celebrate because we ain't fucking healed this massive pain body that we're carrying around that's contributing to all of the debauchery that we're experiencing. So I would like for pride just to actually just cut it out and just stop for a minute. And I would like some real incentive and resources provided collectively and some events surrounding queer Black people getting the help they need. What if we transform pride from clubbing, twerking, venues, pool parties, house parties, and really made pride something that was restored?
Conventions, seminars. Let's turn these people into entrepreneurs.
That will happen.
I would love that. And I think you made a great point, Conscious. I think we really don't live our lives the way we do out of pride. Most of us live our lives this way out of rebellion.
Right.
So, the
promoters capitalize on that. It's all about who can get. I had a conversation with a bunch of the promoters because, I was trying to get booked in some places, and it's all about.
I was just about to say that. It should be nothing but LGBT performers. I love the City Girls. Even Brandy did it before. But girl, y'all don't know our struggle. Girl, no ma'am. I need somebody who is one of us to get up there and show the girls that you could be up here one day.
They told
because the straight venues ain't booking us.
They say they spend $10,000 on a venue, so they trying to make that money back in ticket sales or what? Not ticket sales, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah. But that's just the venue, because I know City Girls ain't coming out for $10K. I know that.
Yeah, that's just for the venue.
That's just for the venue.
Yeah.
But you see where their budget goes to, though. Like, you would actually save more if you hired LGBT artists. City Girls, Lil' Kim, I know for sure.
That's the problem. Say what you're trying to do is you're trying to, support LGBT artists, but another promoter might have the City Girls and they trying to outdo each other. So they're trying to compete with each other and have the biggest party and have the best brand name. Got the who is it? Rockstar Productions. What's up?
But then it's not even Pride weekend. It's just a regular weekend. City Girls travel and do club appearances weekly. They do that on a regular.
It seems like what we need people, the promoters and the people that are funding these situations, to actually genuinely care about the community. But when we, again, capitalistic mind frames end up
Literally.
impinging on the culture, and we end up suffering for it. And that really does suck, because it seems like the white community, they don't have those issues.
No.
They have unlimited resources, funding. Their prides are always extravagant, and it really goes towards the culture.
They're the ones getting the parades.
Yeah.
We're not getting parades.
Because they know how to organize.
And Houston's parades, like my company walks in the white parade.
Mine did too.
And I'm like, huh? But we don't, I mean, and I would love to see it flip, like film conventions, music conventions, just like mental health conventions, just resources for us to grow as people.
Right.
We don't have to just hate on one another. Like if you see somebody cute, you are working an outfit, like, and just keep it moving. I'm not being shady. I like what you have on, and we're moving on with life. Like it doesn't have to be all of that. Like, and it takes so much more energy to have a hater and a fly across the world just to fight this bitch. You enjoyed none of your weekend because you was waiting on the moment that you just, girl, bye. That's child's play.
I mean,
Fight for your dreams. That's what you need to be fighting. Fight your fears.
They trying to get them little coins on Bigo. That's what that is. The little nugget things.
What beans, girl? They trying to get the fucking beans.
Just look at the beans, little fucking
girl.
I beat that bitch up. I went to Pride and I beat that bitch ass. Did y'all see me?
But who's streaming your music though?
Bing, 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 bing.
Who's streaming your music?
So we should just change the name from celebrating gay pride to celebrating a gay ego.
That's pretty much what it is. It's just sad because instead of leaving the grounds filled with confetti and celebration material, we're leaving it with bloodstains, and
cum.
I mean,
and cum, honey.
Pretty much, and it's disgusting.
We don't love ourselves. For Atlanta to have the HIV rates of that of a third world country, and for YB to say that there was a whole orgy going on in broad daylight under the Atlanta Bridge, is a whole situation of.
Well, hold on,
girl. We're fucking the backup dancers now, girl. We don't love ourselves. We're fucking the women, girl. We don't love ourselves, girl. Iyanla, where are you? The queer community is in trouble. We're in fucking trouble. And this gets worse before it gets better if we don't get it together.
It wasn't like this before. This is the.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
I just, and the crazy thing is, like with all things, it takes time, but I feel like we're not even going to see that change in our lifetime because it's going to take a lot. I don't know what has grabbed a hold of the community. This I don't give a fuck. Whatever happened to, we talk about couth. The girls love to talk about couth, but no, these bitches don't have it. And it's just
the young girls don't care. These young girls aren't even charging for news. They get horny. They just post a nude on a regular Twitter. Not even on a freak Twitter. Just boom. Here's my dick. Here's my ass. Like there is no class, no elegance, no.
This is the age of ratchet thought shit. Like this is that era of thoughty.
It's celebrated. Megan Thee Stallion, hands on my knees, shaking ass, doing that shit. Like, and I shake my ass to it too. But I have my limits, okay? I mean, I feel like we can change our generation, but the kids ain't gonna get it.
Whatever happened to a lady in the street but a freak in the bed? And I think that can go for all walks of life. Like, you can have fun. I don't want you to not have fun, girl. You can get on your hands and your do your thought shit.
Half of the girls are homeless, so the streets are the sheets.
A lot of them hoes found it a lot more convenient to just go ahead and fuck in the street rather than in the bed. It's cheaper. Ain't nobody got no motel coin like that, girl. We might as well thought it out right.
The streets are the sheets. So if I'm gonna be a freak in the sheets, then I'm technically a freak in the streets.
I mean, this is OnlyFans culture, for God's sake.
Ain't nobody got that Motel 6 coin, girl.
Paid for having sex. I mean, OnlyFans is like more popular than it's ever been. They were trying to shut it down and they can't. They can't even stop the.
Child, OnlyFans is more popular than air mattresses.
It's too much coin in
These girls
The
is getting money
debauchery.
from fucking, and they ain't got to do nothing. They ain't even got to work no more. They can go. They got the best shoes. They got the best clothes. They wearing Fendi, Prada, Gucci, and they fucking like nobody's business. And they don't give
And
a
half of that Gucci was stolen during the riots.
If it ain't got you, I can't admit you think you wearing Gucci, but you really wearing hoochie. No,
they ain't
man.
buying no property. They buying Fucci.
I'm telling you,
They buying Fucci.
They got generational wealth of just sitting in they Cash App account because they ain't got no real bank accounts because they
But
can't.
look
At
at
all.
But even look at how OnlyFans as a standalone is going to contribute to deepen narcissism. Could you imagine the level of gratitude and absolute over ego that happens by knowing that I can literally sit in front of my camera and massage my feet and make 10 racks a month? That I can literally do what I'm gonna do in my bedroom, which is jack my dick or dildo my asshole, and just make sure that I film it instead and have 20. Imagine there's no way for you to even humble yourself after knowing that you have people gawking over literally parts of your body. You didn't even present it the entirety of yourself. You're only selling and pitching and displaying a part of you. This age, by the time our generation bleeds out, literally, there's nothing but a nation of narcissists running all of this shit. All of this shit gets worse before it gets better. Believe me. That's why I'm hands off at this point. I'm just making sure I'm out the fucking way.
Right.
I want to say this too to the OnlyFans, and Shed Pearl, I understand what you're saying, but it takes away from, imagine being like a Rico Pruitt in Fame, right? You're in a relationship, right? But again, that's their job. But imagine them only having sex when the camera's on. So now you look at pleasure with your partner as a job instead of something to just enjoy for the moment. Like, if I have to suck my man's dick and every time he got to put the camera on in order for me to do it, that's going to get old to me. Because I don't look at you as just my sex partner to make money. I'm looking at you as my boyfriend, my husband, my significant other. And I see a lot of that takes place. And I can't sometimes wonder, of course, we're not involved in these people's lives every waking day. But I just question, like, how is sex outside of the camera? Is it the same? You know, like,
different. I'm going to tell you how it's different.
Because you have to position yourself for a camera. Like, it has to be right for you to see it. Like, when you're fucking without a camera, you don't care how the position is, because as long as the dick is in the ass, the mission is accomplished. But, I mean, it's a little different when you're filming. But, I mean,
porn sex is very controlled. It's very manufactured. The orgasm is manufactured. The timing is manufactured. You really don't get to be present in porn sex versus organic, really intimate love type shit. So I'm sure that there is a difference between their on set shit and their in the bedroom shit, just because, you know, of the obvious.
I also feel the same way too. Like, okay, you got to put all of this effort into this, and I'll be looking at the girls like, okay, since we're talking about Rico Pruitt, you've been getting dick down by Fame for a long time. So every time I see, when I see those moments, I can't believe it, because you done take that dick so much. That orgasm.
Oh, like when it first goes in and it's like oh no, it hurts.
Yeah, you know. Oh no. Oh no.
Are you trying to say that?
Oh no.
Are you trying to say that Rico Pratt has lost her elasticity at this point?
I don't think
no,
so.
What I'm saying though is when you're having continuous sex with your partner, it eventually gets easier. Like, okay, I was with this guy for like 3.5 years, and he had a huge ass dick, girl. Okay, the first couple of rounds, okay, eventually you get used to your man's dick, where he can just pop that motherfucker right on in. Hello, God, and it just be good to go. So when I see a porn star couple that has for years been together, I don't believe the only at Masters Giant bullshit. I don't believe that. I think that's put on for the camera. And sometimes even some pornos I watch, girl with little dick is going in booty hole that I know has been slain for a long time periods, girl, hell of God. Like, you know that shit don't hurt, girl. That ping out, that little ping, like, what is that really doing to you, girl? Like, what is that? No. So some of that shit is just, I want sex to be, like, you can be a camera whore, that's great. But I just wonder, like, are y'all just having sex for the pleasure of it? You know, like, and what is your sex like outside of that? I gotta talk to one of the porn girls.
I'm gonna be honest too, though. We gotta remember that sex is probably honestly 40% physical, and the rest of that shit is actually mental and imagination and just the thought of this person being in you, and just the whole everything that's happening emotionally and creatively in your mind is contributing to whatever. But I also don't believe that people who because honestly, if the regular whores who just practice promiscuity still enjoying sex, then I mean all a porn star is a promiscuous whore with the camera on. So but it's literally the same consistency in sex, the same consistency in anal sex, the same consistency in oral pleasure. So if ain't none of them hoes in Atlanta who you saw up underneath that goddamn bridge are galvanized like the Sermon on the Mount, ain't losing no goddamn sensitivity, then I'm sure that Fame and Rico is still having a very turnt lit. Look, there are couples who have been together for 60, 70 years. They swinging, they having still a full sex life. So I don't think sex kind of like goes out of business in that sense. I think if you still got the physical parts for it and that's something you still desire, I think it's gonna last until something stops working. But as long as everything works, baby, business open.
And Shed Pearl, our ultimate conversation really isn't like demonizing or, you know, discrediting the porn girls. And no, I uplift the girl, do your thing, girl, because you provide me a safe place, girl, so I don't have to go out here on Jack the Grinder, girl, and probably get snatched away by some crazy ass truck driver, girl. Oh, girl, that's a story time, girl.
That was specific. That was real specific.
We'll talk about that another time, child. But you know, like, I have nothing against that at all. Like, the same way we do our thing. No, I'm not even trying to. I'm just talking about the pleasure behind the sex. Like, is it still good to those people when the cameras are off? That's really what I'm talking about. But,
I mean, two totally different worlds, but think of singers, you know, like when I'm performing, when I'm making an album, I'm working, but I'm sure Mariah, Brandy, Beyonce still hum songs and sing at home when they're cooking, you know, just for fun. And it still feels good. They still like to do it. You know, sex to some people is just as leisurely as singing, you know. I do it for work and, you know, I do it at home and I like it. But I think that maybe for some people, maybe for, you know, these porn stars, it gives them more of a rush, you know, to have the camera on. So maybe they're, you know, and then these girls are, and I ain't talking about cocaine, baby. These girls are, my lip gloss is popping, if you know what I mean. So that's really, you know, they don't really give a fuck at that point.
Yeah.
But, you know, and then you're used to it. You've been on full production sets fucking. So to have a little ring light and a little piece of camera phone ain't really gonna move you.
And a lot of them porn stars are married and dating, have children. Like, they have whole lives outside of their profession.
Yeah.
I literally think that the adult entertainment, I don't think that there's what the hell?
Oh, girl.
Right.
No lost power.
Something has happened.
Nah, girl, what's going on?
Girl, the porn stars
Maybe
are
that's
coming
like
after
you
you.
to shut their
What I say?
Shed Pearl, you have something to do with that.
It's a glow in the dark conscious TV.
Yes, God.
Let me figure this out real quick.
Okay, I was about to say, are you good?
I'm about to see.
You still got your internet access, so obviously the power.
Right. My light bulb just died out and shut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, Shed Pearl, what kind of curses you trying to cast at my home, girl?
Light. Somebody give her.
I was trying. You remember my little thing that came down the last time? That shit freaked me the hell out. But
I I remember that.
Yeah. And then at one time that fly was in here, girl, and that thing had me jumping for Jesus last season.
I didn't know that they were in a relationship though until it's funny you brought them up because I was scrolling through Instagram and somebody like Instagram had recommended Fame and I was like, oh my god, him and Rico are together. But they look like they're really happy together. Like I'm happy for them.
But I wonder, I fear, because as we get older, we change. And I'm not saying that applies to everyone, but I do feel like it, in a way, it does. It does, but it doesn't, if that makes sense. It doesn't sound retarded, but whatever. I feel like, when will that be old news? Because eventually, you get tired of doing... I even was watching, what show was that? Carl's show, The Web Life. There's a guy that was featured on this past episode that was sitting down. Forgive me, Cassadine, is that his name?
Rico Cassadine.
Was that the guy sitting down with Tonio, the ex-porn star, who's trying to find his way into, mainstream media?
Antonio.
Someone was sitting down with the guy in the first episode of season 2. The guy with all the tattoos. He's not a cast member. He was just a friend of the cast member.
He was a friend.
They were sitting down having a conversation. He was a pretty big porn star a while back, but I guess he changed his way and he wants.
Oh, you're talking about the guy who he's an actor now, and he's. Yeah, I've seen him. I think, but he's actually doing really good in acting. Like he's had quite a few roles. I think he was on Law and Order a couple of times, and. He's done.
Angel Valentino.
Yeah,
that's his name.
Yeah, he's really big now. He's changed. Like, well, not changed, but you know what I mean. Like, he's actually made something like pop for him in the acting world.
Okay. So you see, like, eventually you begin to wake up. Even Tay the Doug, like, you got a bunch of other ones who have just said, "Girl, like." When we've seen you already, we've seen like the whole Breed It Raw people. I don't even look for their videos no more because y'all keep using the same act. I've seen their dick. I done seen every inch of their booty holes. I done seen all of the moves they could give. Eventually, me as a viewer gets tired. So I can only imagine you as the talent doing this gets tired. So as far as a relationship with someone like that goes, when will you start to think, oh, I'm letting these niggas fuck my man, even though we're getting paid and we're both in this and I live for? Eventually, that's going to get old. Eventually, you're going to want something of more substance. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel.
I just want to push back a little. I got to push back against that just a little bit because it's no difference of a dynamic than those who are in polygamous and polyamory relationship. I think what people consider substance is very subjective.
That's true.
Because you're sharing your partner doesn't mean that you're lacking intimacy. It don't mean that you're lacking bond with your partner. It just literally means that you have the capacity to not be that possessive of your partner, but all the other elements of the relationship can be there.
Well, that's a little bit different because what if they like that video more of them fucking your man versus them fucking you, and then your man like, well, I
no
give more money over here. So.
But that's no difference than your man deciding that he's tired of fucking you in a monogamous relationship and get him a new bitch. I mean, like,
and that's totally
again, like
honey, there should never be
issue, like the entire
bitch.
The entire issue that y'all keep see.
Yeah, I've never heard
what's
that.
At the underbelly of,
I've never heard that before. I mean.
What's at the underbelly of those type of
what's at my underbelly is pussy. Wet ass pussy.
What's at the underbelly of those type of statements is this. It's almost like it's a conditioning, and it comes from this idea that you actually believe that you are keeping a man, and I think that that's very insulting because when I am in a relationship, nobody's keeping me. I'm choosing to be kept, which also means that no matter what you're doing for me, I still am liable to jump ship and to leave your ass and or to cheat on your ass. And so we got to really divorce this idea that your wet ass pussy is keeping your man, because it's not. Your good ass cookie. It's not. Oh God. Because any man who is faithful
oh Lord.
he is faithful by his an admission, child. Okay, let it go.
Oh man.
All I'm saying is this. I know me. Let me tell you, I forgot. Someone posted something on Twitter not too long ago, and they put it on Facebook. I forget who it was. They said, "Damn, like I'm getting in my 30s, and I'm more horny now than I was when I was younger. I thought that feeling would dissipate over time." And my sentiments exactly, like I thought the same way. As I'm getting older, I'm noticing my libido is much higher. I have a more taste for dick, girl, hello God. And I'm just here for it. I last longer. I am that bitch. So when it comes to me, there should be, girl, I tell you, I have studied the Kama Sutra, girl. I probably wrote my own little fucking endeavors in that bitch in a past life. Hello God. There should be no reason sexually. Now, emotionally, I understand people can emotionally disconnect, and the sex could be bomb, but girl, you just ain't it. So I get that part of it, but bitch, I have brains. Hello God, I have brawn. Hello God, and bitch, I'm a freak. Help, bitch. There should be no. You should not. After I'm done draining the life force from your motherfucking ass, bitch, there should be no.
What exactly is brawn?
Brawn, bitch, I'm strong.
Oh, okay, strong.
I'm strong. Okay. Mm-hmm. I may be a power bottom, but I'm a.
So what you're saying is, in the words of India Ari, you got strength, courage, and wisdom.
But here's the thing, OYB, like this is why men have to like clear their shit up, because you have people who are doing what the fuck they should do in a relationship, and it's not enough because the person who you're giving that to is disconnected in some way from themselves. So no matter how much you serve them, this is why so many women are so distraught and broken and heartbroken over infidelity, over you leaving me for the mistress, because they're sitting here saying, I'm successful, I'm educated, I'm fucking you, I'm feeding you, I'm bearing your children, I put up with your raggedy ass mammy, I am literally taking on the entirety of your life dynamic, and you don't want this. You would rather give yourself fully to someone else. Like, what am I doing? And women literally pile over this thing of like, what am I doing? And so then women get into this perverse behavior by then saying, well, maybe if I eat pussy, if I let them have threesomes, if I compromise myself, because once again, we're under this illusion that we're keeping someone, and we refuse to accept that somebody is with us by choice, not by force, not because we're good at what we do, but because they see something here that they want. And guess what? We got to let that be the case, so that when we got to go deeper, so that when we're not able to be talented as a dick sucker and be talented as a dick taker, and when we can't do those talents, that we can still confidently and comfortably accept a man's love for us. Because as long as you are doing this performative shit, you're going to be deeply insecure the day that you can't suck his dick like that, or the day that you can't fuck like that, or the day that whatever, the day that the coin changed, the lifestyle changed, you're going to be out of your fucking mind insecure, because you always knew that the things you were doing is what was so-called keeping this man. So you got to really push and be loved by somebody who fucking loves you. And yes, you can be good at all that you are, but
that's unconditional love.
You know what else I have to add to that point? Especially when we talk about men have, whether gay, straight, whatever, men, and I'm also guilty. I'm not gonna say a victim, guilty of this shit as well. Like, we have this need to conquer. You could be madly in love. You would see this all the time, whether it's TV, movies, or real life. We could be loving the fuck out of somebody. But there's this innate need that men have that dates all the way back to that fucking cave dwelling mentality, bitch, of conquer all. They could love the fuck out of their queen all day long, but girl, they just want to fuck everyone. And then that's why we always been conditioned to have this mind from, oh child, well just wait till you get a little bit older to finally fall in love, because you done sowed your oats, You done had all your fun. That's what I was talking about in reference to the Rico Pruitt and Fame situation. Like in situations like that, is like that fun eventually gets old, and you will start to have a different need, especially when you step into your 40s. You know what I mean? I feel like that at least. Like, yes, there's certain excitements, but that conquer mentality eventually will start to waver, I feel like, and then you're going to want to be more monogamous. Even for myself, it's different for me to have this conversation, on the other hand, because not too long ago, I would have been all in for some polygamy type shit or whatever. But now that I'm getting older and the way that I'm looking at life, myself, relationships, and what I want, it's changing. And I don't want to put that weight on someone else, but I see that that's something that happens historically with people in these situations. And I just think for men too, like, do what you're finna do. But now we're in a time that's different. Everyone, girl, is not who they say they are or as healthy as they claim to be. So you got to be a little bit more mindful of how much you're playing in the backyard of life. You know what I mean? But girl,
But what you're doing though is talking about a growing pain and an evolution that comes with all relationships. It doesn't matter if you are a porn couple, if you are a religious couple. I mean, so if there's something else that needs to happen for them, they would take that journey on together and they will move into that, rightfully so. But right now they're young, they get to have their fun, they get to make money together. And this is no different than Beyonce and Jay-Z doing a joint tour together and just combining their work schedules and their life together in order to have, even though he did all that and still managed to fuck Becky with the good hair, he did all that and still managed to end up in all type of goddamn entanglements and damn near lost his wife and his damn children, because once again, this probably sent Beyonce into Lemonade because she's thinking, I'm fucking Beyonce, bitch. So if you can cheat on me.
But see, when it comes to porn, the reason why I sectioned it off to only like the whole porn dynamic and that aspect of it all is because there comes other underlying things that could happen in that environment. So when they're out doing promotion parties, right? People are going to think because you're so free, they can just touch you. They can just talk to you any kind of way. They have these conceived notions about who you are. So when you're in those environments, even though, again, like we say, the girls who are dressed skimpy, just because they're dressed that way doesn't give you authority to touch them or treat them any kind of way. But people still think that way, right? You know what I mean? I don't want to be with my man. We're known porn stars and we're out just trying to enjoy ourselves or something. And then you get approached or accosted by some overzealous fan who thinks that this is you all the time. You know what I mean?
That ain't just porn.
That's a small.
That is not just porn. I was dating a nigga. And I didn't know that he was so promiscuous. I didn't. We went to the club and everybody knew him. We were walking through the club hand in hand. Hey, hey, hey. One girl rubbed his dick as he walked by. And I'm just like, are we not holding hands? So it's not just, delegated to porn stars. People in general, whether you have a profession in whatever field, will feel like they fucking know. People come up to me like they know me. And I'm like, bitch, move. Because you don't know me like that. Girl, prove. I ain't, no. I don't get down like that. So, I mean, all of us really, we're all public figures. We all have to battle that.
I have the luxury of looking like a bitch who will punch your esophagus out of your fucking throat if you put your hands on me. Right. So I at one point in time I used to look a lot friendlier, but now I look a little bit too edgy and motherfuckers don't be trying my life like that. But yes, to Kat's point, I mean, we dealing with men, like gay men deal with the same catcalling and lust and what's the word I'm looking for? The same objectification that women deal with. Being in porn will heighten the men's community regarding that objectification, but objectification is objectification. And Rico Pratt and Fame look like the type of people that I can't see people disrespecting them like that. I mean, Fame look like you really don't want that work. And Rico,
he is 5'4".
He 5'4", and
but he built though.
The nigga is well built. That nigga look like the Black Terminator. So I think that.
But we've seen Rico
actually interview him one time. I was supposed to interview him once, actually. I'm still trying. Him and Rico.
And we've seen Rico Pruitt fight before, so we know how that goes.
Huh?
We've seen Rico Pruitt fight before, so we know how that goes.
But see, that's the thing that.
Oh, poor baby.
I mean, I feel bad for them particular because they're dwelling in the atmosphere of Atlanta, and then plus all the drama that surrounds their particular situation is a lot. And girl, please, that's why they attract certain energies. But I do like them though. I've always enjoyed Rico Pruitt. A lot of people used to try to give him shit for his stuff back in there, but girl, whatever. You were one of the only girls to come under the thumb of those sex trafficking ass bitches, allegedly. Hello, God, and actually turn it around and make a name for yourself. So
yeah.
Good for you. Tramel, you had something to say?
Oh no, I was with Kat when it comes to like just being approached by people and people feeling like very comfortable, just like it bothers me. It makes me very uncomfortable, and I'm trying to that's actually been one of like the depressing things for me, like being in this realm because people get so comfortable like touching stuff and like that, and it's just like grabbing your hand and trying to monopolize conversations and things like that. And I'm like, I have a man, like do not. And it's made it to the point where like I'm telling y'all a little bit of my business. It's made it like uncomfortable for him to even want to be around me out in public. Like,
oh wow,
he don't like
because he don't want that energy either, and he's an accident.
He's about ready to fight people, so he like don't like to go out in public with me no more because he just doesn't want to be around that type of vibe.
But that comes with it, Tramel, though. So y'all got to have a tough conversation because that's
a
part of your life now.
Let's say this: he's an Aquarius, so there's no conversation about what you don't want to do. Honey.
Oh,
you don't
God bless you. God bless you, babe.
Yes, God bless.
Hopefully, y'all can work through that, but you only gonna get bigger. You know, your star's only gonna grow, so more people are gonna know you. And I saw a clip of Beyonce in Italy, and you know, she couldn't even vacation in peace. People were just like, Beyonce, please, please, and it's just like, girl, can I go anywhere?
Right.
Yes.
Like dudes have literally like hit on me in front of him, like, I saw you on the show and I love your personality. You're so this and so that. I'm just like, okay. He just sitting there like looking like he ready to like box. I'm like, oh God.
Lord.
Because you have a lot of like
That's cute though, girl. That's a little cute, girl.
Because it's a lot of it's a lot of compartmentalized fans. Like they follow the show, but they don't follow you on social media. So they be like out of the loop in terms of what you got going on in your life. They think you're single. So, but it is a lot. I agree.
What's not their business?
Yeah.
I'm a character on a show. Enjoy that. Respect my space.
Right.
Because I mean, even if they did follow him on his personal social media, who's to say that he can get comfortable sharing all of that?
But what's the
he doesn't want to share all of that
between what YB said about Britney just need to bear it out because it comes with it, or would it be the same thing for Tramel?
I don't mind bearing it out now, but I need some.
I think he's still entitled. He is still entitled to his personal space. He is still entitled to go out and live his life and not be bothered. But
you're gonna be bothered.
My thing is as a sponsor, as a partner, don't walk into that saying I don't want no parts of that, knowing that this comes with a job.
Sorry.
So I may not want it when I'm off, but when I'm on and you're supporting me and we're at a show of mine, expect people to know me and to come up to me, and don't get mad when they do because it's who I am.
If God bless Kid Fro, God bless Tramel. But if I was a Craze fan of y'all or whatever, and I came up there, honey, you got to deal with it. And if you give me attitude, I'm gonna cuss you out. I mean, that's like if for Mariah Carey, if I spent good money to go see her, and I was like, hey girl, you know, I'm one of the butterflies, I'm one of the lambs, girl, and she disrespected me, I will cuss that bitch out.
Now that means that as your star gets bigger, you would have to do the same thing, bitch. So if I'm out in public with you,
let me tell you something. If I'm out and about, like when I went to Atlanta that one time, the one girl who noticed me at the airport, shout out to you. I forgot your name, girl, but God bless you. But she's like, "Oh, you're Yasss, bitch." I said, "Girl, you know, I ain't know. You know, I talk a lot of shit." So I ain't know that I have to have my battle face on or like what's the tea. But you know, I knew it that once I filtered that, I knew I said, okay, hey girl, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like I can only imagine what it's like for Tramiel. You know, obviously a bigger stage, bigger platform. You're in the heart of where your shows are created at. So I can only imagine. But like, this is what y'all sign up for. Y'all better have no attitude with these people. Because
I'm not saying have no attitude, but it's okay to respectfully say just not today.
The higher you go, the more praise people are going to get.
And that's
you want to start putting.
I'm not saying get disrespectful. Don't get disrespectful, but it's okay to ask for personal space and say I need some.
You better get you a Flame Monroe hat. You know that little derby hat she always wearing when she's not dressed in female clothing. You're gonna have to put you on some sunglasses, a rap girl, or something. If you don't,
yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
The thing is like I don't mind that. Like I've gotten a little taste of what it's like to be, I guess, what quote unquote famous or recognizable to the public. And I'm fine with that. It's actually it's a compliment. But it gets to a point now where it's like, keep your hands to yourself.
Oh, I would never touch you. I would never touch a person.
And if I'm giving
well, ask. Can I give you a hug? Don't just walk up to me and give me a haircut from behind. No, I'm not saying say yes, but I'm not saying say yes. And this is pre-COVID, of course.
I don't want to interrupt y'all, but I got a jet. I gotta go, but this was a great show.
We got a show to do.
Yes, I'm like 20 minutes late. I didn't even know, but I love you
all. Yeah, we lasted a little.
Do your thing, baby.
All right, y'all.
I too will be going live after this as well.
You are? Oh, you said conscious. Oh, you are.
No, he is. I'm going live after this as well. I'm going to do a reaction to Chasing Dallas trailer and talk some shit. But this was a good conversation. I appreciate y'all being here. As tradition, I'm going to give my quote. Hello, God. This quote is from Mary Morrissey. She says, transitions are often hard, but when you are prepared for them, you can move through them gracefully. If you don't do a transition well, part of yourself gets trapped and lost in the old life you lived. Amen.
Amen.
Yes, God.
All right. Anything y'all got coming up y'all want to announce before we jet up out of here?
I have a performance on the 18th. It's Melanin Poppin'. It's hosted by Pyro. He was on the Come Up Atlanta. He was the one that beat up that other little boy.
Okay.
He's very, very friendly. He's a great person. We'll be performing. I think I go on at 10:30. Me and Carl will be doing a joint performance. So
yes,
it'll be fun. And there'll be footages out of that. I say footages. So
where is it located?
It's gonna be on Auburn Avenue. I don't know the exact address, but the flyers on my page is Auburn Avenue. I think it's like 50 or something like that. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Y'all check him out on his Instagram for more about it.
Yes. Check it out.
Just stream both of our projects. You know, my album and Tramel's album is out right now. So stream our projects and that's it. Look for more content, especially for me since Dallas is coming now. I'm definitely gonna review that. And I'm thinking about getting into like maybe sporadic Housewives episodes because Love and Hip Hop just ain't giving it to me no more. So if like Beverly Hills or Salt Lake City, if I see something that catches my attention on Instagram, I might watch it and review it because I need to get into more consistent content. And but in the meantime, girl, stream Enigma because it's that girl.
Amen. Hello, God. And shout out to Carl and all he has going on. All right.
Does he got an album out too, Donnie? Or is it just?
It's called Rockstar. It's on all platforms. And check him out on Web Life Season 2.
It's out now. I think it's just one episode in, right?
I don't know the time because they ain't solidified no time. It just drops whenever on Tuesday. So just watch it on Wednesday.
Yes. Amen. You're back?
It's 10 Central Standard Time, so that'll be.
Oh.
Okay.
A lot of these fuckers on different. They on different time zones.
Time zones. Okay. We were just giving the benediction. You got anything coming up you want to support or want to tell us about?
Do I? No.
Tell us about the show tonight, girl.
Well, I wasn't gonna I wasn't going to say the content creator's name because
Oh, okay. So it's
I
hush
know
hush.
it
Oh,
is.
excuse me.
politics and
Top
pain.
secret, honey. Excuse that.
We don't like her.
Shut up, Tramel. But that person may be a guest. Might be a guest on the Yes God Roundtable at some point.
Oh, you let me know what day that is so I can opt out.
See?
Lord.
See?
I'm trying this new journey of not fucking with people that I don't have time for. And that is somebody who I definitely do not have time for.
Or maybe a new leash. Maybe, you know, being open to change, you know.
Yeah, I'm
steps in
changing all right, because
positive
usually that would just
direction.
be like, oh, I'll sit there and I'll just pretend like I, can be around this person. No, the change is fuck that bitch.
Ooh.
So maybe the episode can be dedicated to a little like fixing of these relationships. So we can
Is he
get
gonna
into
fix his personality first?
Huh?
Is he gonna fix his fake personality first?
Yes.
Because that's the only fixing that I would need. I need honesty. I need an honest bitch before me. Like, I need to know the shit that you said and why you said it, and then we can work from there. But if you're not gonna do that, if you're gonna pussy pop around, I ain't got time.
I think that they would be very willing to.
We can turn the Yes God Roundtable into a Truth and Justice. A meeting
I
of the
don't
mind.
trust people who have crooked eyes. I just don't. Don't do it. Not anymore.
Because y'all don't have to be friends, you know.
We would never be friends.
You know, it's just to make everything okay.
It will never be okay. But we don't have to be friends.
Because relationships.
Actually, no, I don't want to. I don't want to do any of it.
Because Tramel, relationships with bloggers is very interesting because bloggers have a job to do, but they're also people outside of their jobs. And
no, this is what I say. Now, this is what I say. This is what I say all day long, and this is what I try to tell people. I express this very, very deeply. If you are a blogger and that is your God's given thing that you want to do, if you have a passion for it, if you have a passion for talking about people and you just need to do that, and you have to be nasty and disgusting with people, and you don't have an art of, saying it with love or something like that, or, just being a real bitch, and having an opinionated, a factual opinion, you know what I'm saying, about someone. If you can't do that, don't make friends with people.
Yeah.
Be that type of blogger. Be a loner blogger. Don't try to be friends with people that you talk shit about. That's weird.
But what do you call being friends, though? Like, how would you describe somebody attempting to be friends instead of being acquaintances? Like, what's the line?
Well, okay, so I'll give you an example of what this particular person did to me.
Okay.
So this particular person goes into my DMs regularly, just trying to be supportive. Oh, I listen to your music. I do this, I do that, da 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 da. You should come on my show. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Don't know you from lead. That's my fault. Did not do my research. And then, you go into this whole, I read your comments, and then your fans are like, well, that is fake of you to go on, let Tramel come on your show, and you was acting like you liked his music when you really talked shit about it. Like on the previous show, you talked shit about him with somebody else on a regular basis, but you bring him on your show, you're acting fake. It's weird. It's weird.
I think
because that sours my brand for being around fake ass people like you.
Right.
And I'm not knowledgeable of the fact that you're a bitch.
Ooh.
And a real person.
I do get the way that it looks, but I think if I wasn't in the interviewer seat myself, that I would definitely see it that way. But I think it's difficult for some content creators because it's a fine line. Because content creators get a lot of heat from their viewers too. Like, there's this issue of like, if somebody comes onto your platform, do you treat them with the respect they deserve? You make the interview about them, not about your feelings, your judgments, your biases, your critiques, your etc. You make them feel welcome. You allow them to have their time. Or do you be that Wendy Williams druid ass bitch that almost gets socked like Omarosa had to run up on Wendy Williams? And so I think and keep it in mind too, Tramel, a lot of the bloggers are like new to this, and they don't have they don't really have role models. Like, you're just answering the call to be a vlogger. You know, this is what you want to do. So you're working all this shit out as you experience it. I think that's why it's important while you be a part of the show, because maybe there's something that can be taken away from this individual, and you guys can come.
How old is he?
I don't know.
Because
he ain't 40. He ain't 40. I mean,
he looks like he's too old to not know this shit. I'm sorry.
When you're new in the media, yeah, it is. It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot to have couth.
Okay, but see, the thing is, you spoke about that couth being there when you was in their face, but you feel a way about the comments made outside of your presence
that's not having publicly. That's being a fake ass bitch, and I think that being a fake ass bitch outranks couth. So
are you saying that you would prefer someone interview?
I would prefer a Wendy Williams. I love Wendy Williams. I would prefer somebody be nasty with me to their face.
But I think that somebody has to know that, though, because a person wouldn't, like, I wouldn't assume that about somebody coming on my platform, that you want me to drag you the way that
I would like to know what the fuck you said, because you telling me about other people said, but you ain't never tell me what you said, though.
Most people are not going to.
Because they punk ass bitches.
Ooh.
I don't know.
If somebody confront me with some shit, I say, you know, I've done interviews of people, and you know, if I don't like some shit, I'll tell them. I'm like, I ain't like that you did that. I thought that was really, really fucked up. You know, and I might have said this or I might have said that. And they say, well, bitch, I don't fuck with you like that anyway, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, girl, me neither. So let's continue on with this interview. Like, what's up? Like, it's no big deal. It's the underlying, like, sneakiness for me. And it makes me feel used and dirty. And I only want to feel used and dirty by my man. So, and he's not my man. So,
God.
I mean, but everything in the media is like usury and exploitation. There is nothing sincere.
Exactly. But you know, in media, there are roadblocks to get to people. You know, you have publicists who actually do this research for you. I'm an independent person, and people actually research people like him who try to have interviews with you and stuff like that to vet if you're a credible source, if you're really going to have my best interest at heart. And I just really feel like he don't. And I would have loved to have known that about him previously. And he could have even said that to me, like, I'll talk shit about you.
Let's see how that was a learning opportunity for you.
Now I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to give you an example of someone who actually is my great friend now, Jamar and Scotty. Scotty hated me. Scotty hated me. He told me he hated me. He said, I didn't really like you. I was like, oh, that's what's up. Thank you for telling me. And Jamar didn't like me either. But they had an interview with me, and we talked about it, some of the things that they didn't like and some of the things that they did like about me. And then in that interview, you know, they got to understand me better. And I got to
you forgetting someone?
Huh?
You forgetting someone?
Who?
You with me right here on the panel. Remember my first reviews of G Status?
Oh, no, I don't.
When you were hanging out with old cockeyed old goat throat.
Now that will forever be different. Like with YB, I've never actually felt like YB did not like me. I felt like you just didn't like his ass. And that ain't have nothing to do with me. I never took none of that personally. If you didn't like me because of him, that never sat off in my spirit. But when you actually legit like say things about me personally,
oh yeah, no, that was
and come for like things about me personally with like, and you get nasty with it. Like even Ebby has said some things about me. I was just like, okay, well, whatever. You know, I would still like talk to her or have a conversation with her, no problem. Like she's never cut me to the weird place. You know what I'm saying?
So you felt like with this person, you got cut to the weird place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to the weird place. It was just too weird for me. Don't do that.
Oh girl, we're gonna do another quote.
And I think too that when it comes down to me, I've even had interviews and conversations and actually developed an extreme like for people even after, okay, I read them for filth in my reviews and then I have a conversation with them and it's just like, damn, you know, you can't judge people unless you actually talk to them.
Right.
And have conversations with them to peel back those layers. But, you know.
And yeah, I wasn't even mad about the conversations beforehand. Like, even if he was talking shit about me beforehand, didn't know. I had a conversation with him. I sat on his show. I sat with him for hours or whatever. He said some things about other people saying things about me. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. It didn't have nothing to do with him. So I wasn't like upset. You do an interview with raggedy ass Akeem just a couple of weeks ago, months ago, maybe like a month ago, and you just sat there like, oh, and you let that bitch talk. Fake.
Mm.
And I cussed him out about it too.
Oh, girl, we gonna need
You
to
can come on my show and we can talk about it. Like, bitch, why do I give you content for it?
Mm.
We gotta lose out this
You're an
moment.
opportunist, and I don't like opportunists. Like, you are really trying to play this game and trying to get your content up. Cool, I get it. Don't fuck with you.
Num your ring, num your ring, num your
You always trying to make somebody make up. You tried to make me make up with that other bitch, and you see how that went.
Because it's a complicated, it's an intricate relationship between bloggers and the people they give commentary on. Like, it really, like people like Justin J always say, like, there's a reason why he don't get close to celebrities, because it's a conflict of interest, and if you need to be honest, but I do understand too. I think that commentators can make it more their business to be upfront. Maybe you don't have to disrespect the person you interviewing, especially if you have some choice thoughts about them. But at least come into the interview being able to say, "Hey, girl, what's the situation about? Because I ain't really feeling like you can't act like you don't got a problem totally. Like, you got to be able to own it to some degree, so there can be a level
real.
of integrity.
Just be real. I'd like realness. Like, be real with me.
But once again, you're not talking to people in, like, this isn't Fox News and CNN. Like these are freelance, amateur,
and
like, novice. Like we're all pretty much winging this shit. So we're learning just like you guys on reality TV.
I can say that
to go to bed on y'all hoes.
The three of you and the other people that I dealt with, they have some type of he does not have any. Like, he is like the worst.
That's because
worst.
Girl, wait.
What?
Quote us out, baby. We can have this conversation backstage.
What happened?
Cause y'all getting deep into it.
What happened?
Y'all haven't seen YB yawning? YB didn't yawn like
No, I can't be yawning because I'm going live at 11. But it's okay, child. Go finish up this. It's like there's a lot to get out here. This is just how I feel, just on this situation. Like, I get it. Some people, and this is no dig at anybody, just some people you just can't fuck with. Like, even Conscious, we had a conversation about old bad. We talked about that. And, some people are just not meant to mesh,
Yeah, that's true.
And it's okay. You don't have to like everybody. You don't have to be on everyone's platform. I mean, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
But should we all give each other some grace? Because, like, a Tremel, they are new to the reality industry. So everybody is, like, learning this thing. It ain't going to be any different for YouTubers than it is for you guys on reality TV to be learning the ins and outs and learning what works and what doesn't. And, we're all in that same position.
But you got to look at it too. Like I've been saying for years now as a reviewer, I'm not going to enter an interview the same way I enter a review. Because there has to be a balance there. Because if I come at you, oh, bitch, hashtag I need more, and you're not going to want to talk to me. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not giving you an opportunity to open up so we can get to know you. And also, like, you can't have people just come on the platform as well to just bash a person who you're trying to talk to. So I get both of, the areas of defense, but I have to, as a creator myself, I've been through it as well. I've had to adjust myself and learn some things, but respect is something that should come innately way before you become a content creator. That's just how I feel.
And I want to say this, like, I respect his job. I respect his position. I respect, like, bitch, talk shit about me. I don't care. Just don't have me coming on your show. You talking shit the way you be talking it. Like, it's not. It's just one of those things. Like, you're doing your job, let me do mine. You know what I'm saying? Because me coming on your show is not me doing a job to myself. You know what I'm saying?
But this is also a lesson for you, Tramel. Do your research. When somebody asks to interview you, go back and watch their fucking content.
That's why I would never be on any panel position with that bitch ever again.
Well, you know, that's why when I reach out to people for interviews, I always refer them to my playlist of interviews, because I want them to know, I want them to believe, okay, this is what you do. Does that align with what I got going on?
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? I always do that, especially with like people, bigger people that I try to reach out, because I don't want you to just judge me based off a few of the videos on my thing. I want you to judge me based off my interview skills, and to know when you come on my platform, you can speak about anything. You're not going to be judged. We may have harsh conversations about certain things depending on who you are and why we're having this discussion with you. If it's been a difficult person that I've dealt with in the past or whatever, I still, hey, speak your piece. I'm going to say what concerned me, what issues that I had. If we can meet somewhere in the middle throughout this interview, because that's what it's for. I'm not going to invite you on my platform just to read you for filth. What would have been the point?
Yeah.
There's no point. You know, and it also depends on where you're trying to go in this game too.
Now, I actually appreciate him being fake in that moment, but it's just kind of like, you know, it's just I just don't have time for it. It's just me in my personal life. I don't deal with that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
But
He's
here's
doing his
the
job.
thing, Tramel.
More for me.
You was around people on season 2, okay, that you had an issue with on season. It's literally no different. Like, if you got to do that on reality TV, if you can put y'all can play nice and just have a working relationship.
Anymore. I don't play nice with anyone anymore. Especially people, you know, I'm not gonna go there, but like him particularly, the certain allegations against him, like personally, I don't got time for that either. Like, you know.
Those allegations are not.
I don't care.
Okay. If we're
Christian, I love you, baby, but not my cat's meow, bitch. Okay.
Let her have it.
not my cat's
Let her
meow.
have it.
Okay.
Let her have
If
it.
the cat didn't want to be here, he would have logged off by now. Okay. Thank you.
Let her
Love
have
you
it.
down. Love you down, baby.
Let her have it.
All
Yeah,
right.
you know,
So
he do his thing. I respect him. I just don't want to be around him. Don't want to talk to him.
Understandable.
He's not important to me to progress in my life, so I don't need him.
we'll be okay. Again, everybody's not meant for everybody. All right. Well, I'll be coming back
You want
live.
to talk about it, Contest TV? You can call me. You got my number.
Oh,
I will. I'm about to hit you up right on Insta video.
I know you is.
Well, we love y'all and we appreciate you guys sticking with us today. Make sure you guys are tuning in. Next week is going to be a different type of episode. I'll make sure to put everything in the chat. It's going to be different. Since I'm a weird bitch, we're going to do weird bitch things. Okay? Hello, God. Love y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Panel, thank you so much. I appreciate you as always. Guys, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Support the panel and all of their endeavors. Please, please, please. Okay? All of our information is in the description box of this video. Amen. So if you would like to know more about us, easy access. Just like the great inventor of holes in boxers. Hey, you know, when I was younger, when I first got into the boxer thing, I actually used to wear them backwards. I thought that's what they were for. So when trans, yeah,
Ain't the tag was in the
I was when I was a young whore. I was a young whore, and I just thought like, okay, maybe this was meant. Because mind you, you're talking to a bitch who thought every man. When I was younger, I thought gay was just everyone was doing it. I didn't know that, you know. So I just, don't mind, child. We gone. Bye. Love y'all.
Love you. I have to work next week, so I won't be here. So
Okay.
Oh no.
yeah.